We welcome you inside our ProBox TV World Headquarters just outside of Tampa, Florida. And we are excited because we got new digs, we got a new partner, we've got a new agenda. We're ready to go because it is a new year. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg, joined, of course, by my powerful partner, the Magic Man, the two-time world champion, Paulie Malignaggi, and another former world champion next to me, Chris Algieri. Welcome to the family, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here between two legends to watch these great fights.
It's going to be a night of great fights. So, Paulie, for our ProBox TV fans around the world, where have we come? Where are we going?
Well, you know, we always said it was going to be great fights. We always promised you action-packed fights here at ProBox TV. That's not going to change. You know, that's been happening. Anybody familiar with the ProBox TV mantra? We've still got here. You know, we're good fighters and great fights, and that's going to continue at least twice a month. We're going to have live fights for 2023. But we've also got the great talk shows. We've got the great podcasts. We've also got boxing news. We'll be your headquarters for all boxing news as well. This channel is going to have everything boxing. We are determined to be your boxing channel, and that's what we will become in 2023. We're going to cover fights from all other networks. We're going to get out there. This is not a competition. This is not an alliance with any other network. If they've got big fights, we will love to cover them and talk about them and discuss them on our podcast and talk shows.
Both you men have given your life to this sport, and this sport does deserve what we want to give and will deliver in 2023. And Chris, it's a pleasure to have you aboard. What do you see from the future? I know that when we were rehearsing earlier, you were like, man, these digs are kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, walking in here this week and you know, doing rehearsals, like, wow, this is something else. This looks like top-notch facility. Obviously, there's top-notch talent here as well, and we've got top-notch fights. That's the most important aspect for me. I mean, I've been watching ProBox TV since its inception, before I was on this side of the table, and I saw great fights, great matchups. Now, add in the fact that we're going Wednesday nights. I love that idea that we're back during the week. We don't have to compete directly with the weekend championship boxing. And the fact that the fights are competitive. Now getting an opportunity and a chance. And listen, they fight hard because they love this opportunity. They're grateful for it, and they're hungry.
Perfect segue to breaking down our main event of the evening. And Chris, I'll start with you with Jesus Saracho, because that's basically what he said. He appreciates the opportunity to fight here on ProBox TV. He wants to make a statement tonight against Cesar Francis.
Yeah, I mean, Cesar Francis has been on a tear on ProBox TV. His last three fights, really, really big wins, huge step-ups for him each time out, and has been, I mean, looking phenomenal. But Saracho, I mean, he's coming in here to upset the apple cart. He wants to take over the shine that this man right here, Cesar Rainman Francis, has developed here on ProBox TV. You know, he wants to go out there and keep up with that, but Saracho wants to take over, and he wants to take that shine away. He's a big puncher in Rain Man that he's been here. We've seen him time and time again, and he's been impressing throughout. So Saracho has a tall task in front of him.
He is the owner of our 2022 ProBox TV Knockout of the Year, Cesar Francis, the Rain Man. But Jesus Saracho, all gas, no brakes, pressure, and maybe a little bit more pressure, Paulie.
Yeah, and punching power. This guy has some big knockout power. In the fighter meetings yesterday, you know, his manager was telling us that, listen, we really believe in this guy's power. He's one of those boxers that has true power. There's a lot of guys that come in with knockout records. He says, my guy has real power. He touches you on the chin, you're going to feel it, and you may go. So they're banking on that kind of power to really hurt Francis. And listen, Francis has shown some susceptibility against southpaws. Saracho is a southpaw. Muhammad Mamoun had him down. You know, in a great give-and-take fight we had here on ProBox TV, one of our mantra fights, what we talk about, good fighters and great fights. These guys are right on the cusp. They know a big win here tonight gets them that much closer to those championship fights on the weekend that everybody wants to be part of. But you get tomorrow's stars here on ProBox TV during the week, and trust me, these matchups will will separate the pretenders from the contenders.
Tomorrow's star in our co-main event may actually already be a star here tonight. He is Oscar Alvarez Jr., 19 years old, 7-0, 7 knockouts. His idols, Julio Cesar Chavez, one of our founders, the Hall of Famer, Juan Manuel Marquez. Juan Manuel is very big, Paulie, on his talent level, and is excited to see the development as he takes on 33-year-old Nicolas Polanco. Polanco, 20 wins, 11 finishes, 14 years older, here to show ProBox what he is and to represent his country, the Dominican Republic. But let's talk about the frame of this 19-year-old, 6'3" lightweight.
I mean, I don't like to use the word, but he's freakishly tall. I mean, the kid is tremendous for the weight class, but at the same time, even though he's tall and he's long, he's a Mexican at heart. He wants to fight on the inside. He told us in the fighter meetings he likes to fight on the inside, even if he's having more success on the outside. So that makes for an exciting fighter in my eyes.
Paulie, young talent, very talented, but against an older guy, 14 years older, man strength. We've seen it before.
Yeah, and listen, Polanco's 14 years older, but he's got that big experience. Listen, he's 20-3, so he's still got he's got the kind of record where if he gets a good win over a hot prospect like Alvarez, he puts himself back into title contention where he's been before. This guy has been in title contention in his career, so it's a big important fight for him. And when you get to that age, it's an age that I've been at and I've gone through this kind of thing. You feel like this chance could be your last chance, but since you're of the age where you've been experienced already, one win like this and you're right back into a big fight. People, you're not there to wait,
We will have that fight as our co-main event of the evening. Of course, talking about how we promote the sport of boxing, studio news desk formatted talk shows, full coverage of the great sweet science. Our fights are live and also available on video on demand. We get things started with an 8-round lightweight future star matchup featuring a man we have seen before. 14-1 Brazilian, Jonhatan Soares Cardoso, going by Soares, now Brazilian. All 14 wins by knockout. But tonight we will see how he responds to the first defeat of his professional career. That came back in June in Panama City. He was knocked out at 2:05 of the first on ProBox TV by Juan Huertas. His opponent, 10-0, Jose Arellano, a self-described counterpuncher who literally said his dream is to become a world champion and buy his mom a house. There is the artist, Paulie, formerly known as Cardoso. He admitted that he was spooked a little bit by the bright lights in Panama City.
Well, formerly known as Cardoso, currently known as Soares. Here's the thing. If you're going to be an artist in this sport, if you're going to be a performer, you got to understand that being under the lights is the most key thing of all. We got Soares when we got him here at ProBox, solid amateur career, 14-0, 14 KOs. He's a strong guy, but he's got to be able to do it under the lights tonight.
Keys to victory for Soares.
And look, he's got a throwing combination at mid-range. Listen, we don't want to see him at close range against the cagey Arellano, who likes to get inside and make things uncomfortable. He needs to get that confidence early. He's been knocked out in his last fight. It's very key to see how he reacts in the opening moments of this fight and how confident he really is. And tie up if things get bad, something he didn't do the last fight and got himself stopped in the first round. He's got to make sure he knows how to survive when he gets hurt.
And his opponent is a very good one in 10-0, Jose Arellano. 6 wins have come by knockout. Took this fight on 3 weeks' notice to put himself on the map. He said he is a gym rat, trains at altitude in Denver. But when I asked him about that, Chris, in the fighter meetings, he kind of said, I'm always training anyway, altitude or not.
Yeah, no, this is one of those guys. He's a true gym rat. He lives in the gym. He trains year round. He spars with some of the top guys in and around the weight class in the world today. So he's definitely going to be prepared tonight.
And Chris, your keys to victory for Arellano?
As the champ Paulie Manaji said, you got to be aggressive early to combat Soares because he got knocked out his last fight. That's still fresh in his mind. Arellano needs to remind him of what happened the last time he was out and get it done again. Next, he needs to move his head. Soares can punch. He's a good mid-distance puncher, but Arellano has good head movement. He's got to fight on the inside. And then lastly, he's got to be rough. He's a tough, rough house guy. He's got to get inside, use his physicality to get the win.
All right, with the official introductions of our first fight of the night, here is Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the ProBox TV Event Center here in Plant City, Florida, we are scheduled for 8 rounds in the lightweight division. Your judges for this contest, James Jed O'Connor, Shami Shipman, and Braden Jackson. Your referee in charge is Christopher Young. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black with gold. He weighed in at 133.2 pounds. His record, 10 wins, no losses, with 6 wins by knockout from Chihuahua, Mexico. Please welcome Jose And now fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white with gold, he weighed in at 133.8 pounds with a record of 14 wins, just 1 loss. All 14 wins coming by way of knockout from São Paulo, Brazil. He is Jonhatan Maximus Soares.
Let's go. Let's go.
I call you gentlemen, you see instructions in the dressing room. Make a tough, clean fight. And my commands all the time, protect yourselves all the time. Touch them up.
Our tail of the tape for this 8-round lightweight future stars matchup. The 23-year-old Brazilian against the 27-year-old Mexican. Soares, 2 inches taller. He will have a 4-inch reach advantage. Here we go. It's time to fight. Jonhatan Soares, born and raised in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in the white and gold trunks. Jose Arellano, born in Mexico, moved to Denver, Colorado at age 9. He is in the black and gold.
Touch him. Use that lead hand. Control the right. Set it up.
Yeah, I can already see a little apprehension in Soares to start. He's not getting out there trying to stick that jab. In fact, it's actually Arellano who's getting out there sticking that jab high and low.
Yeah, and Arellano actually considered himself the counterpuncher, but Soares is not punching at all, so it's Arellano's starting to take the lead, and we see maybe Soares trying to get himself settled into the first round, since maybe the last time he didn't do such a good job of it.
And Paulie, you and I called that fight, and we were both taken back about how quickly it ended, especially with the high praise going in for Soares, for Maximus. He got caught. Everybody gets caught.
Yeah, and then, Huertas did have a reputation to, kind of be a quick starter, right? But Soares, you got to understand, he came into the fight with a 14-0, 14 knockout record at the time. So yes, it was shocking for us. I'm sure it was shocking for him.
Stars family, Chris, working with Mark Ferre, who does a great job with our youngsters here at the ProBox TV headquarters.
Yeah, I mean, he trains in the ring that he's fighting in right now, so maybe some of that nervousness that he experienced last fight, he will be, overcome that here.
Very much a feeling out process here in the first of a scheduled 8. Which is not a big surprise when you consider what Soares is, I would say, in these first 3 minutes, trying to mentally forget from about 6 months ago in Panama City.
He's starting to get that left hand a little busier in the second half of the round.
Yeah, he's starting to be a little more sure of himself with his movements, with his jabs. Not a whole lot of power being thrown by either man thus far.
I'm sure Arellano is thinking, Soares has been stopped in the last fight, but I'm sure you're also thinking every win Soares has is by knockout. So, you also can't attack him with reckless abandon, even if you're trying to take advantage of maybe some lack of confidence after him coming off the loss.
And you can see, Soares, he's big for the weight class. He's tall, he's long, he filled in nicely since the weigh-in yesterday. That on top of the pristine record, knockout record. Yeah, you got to be careful with a guy like that.
His second round 1 here on ProBox TV went a lot better than the first time we saw him in a first round. Not a whole lot either way, but I would say that Mark Ferre is telling Soares, be patient, wait for your game, then attack.
Bien, right? No hay mucho en ese lado, pero tiene que estar muy vivo. Vamos a trabajar el jab ahora. Ya tú ves que tú puedes entrar cuando tú quieres, ¿verdad? Tranquilo, pero no entra a lo loco. Vamos a trabajar ese jab y vamos a poner un poquito de presión, pero sigue moviendo y trabajar eso. Vamos a moverle esta mano más, all right? ¿Ok? Ya tú ves lo que tú puedes hacer. ¿Sí o no? Sí. So dame un antes.
Bring it up. Okay. Angles. Okay. Range control. When you're done. Yeah, drop the line all the time. That winky right jab. We need that winky right jab. Popping out of nowhere. Coming out of nowhere. Do not let him plan his feet. You get to the high bar.
Here, Arellano's calling us out on the winky right jab. Well, you know, we are not far from St. Petersburg, where, right? Winky right stomping ground.
That's right. Well, and Arellano has had most of his fights in now his home state of Colorado as we get round 2 underway. He sparred Mike Alvarez back in the day, who held the WBO light welterweight title back in 2013, and he told us, Paul, that he's advanced to working with the likes of Shakur Stevenson.
Oh, yeah. He's been a sparring partner for a lot of top guys, so he's certainly a capable guy in the ring. And, of course, didn't bring his own undefeated record here. We're talking about Soares with all knockouts, but maybe Arellano doesn't have all knockouts, but he's coming in with a 10-0 record here.
10-0 with 6 finishes, the 27-year-old against the 23-year-old.
Soares has landed 2 really nice, crisp right hands to start round number 2. Definitely got the attention of Arellano.
Yeah, he's starting to lead a little bit with that right hand, a little bit more. You know, Mark Ferrer wanted him to maybe step up the pace a little bit, but not get too crazy. And we see how he's staying in rhythm, but still trying to raise the tempo.
What I've seen from Soares and watching his tapes, he's very dangerous at mid-range. He's got good power, good length, lets those hands go.
He told us in the fighter meetings earlier this week that he does know Arellano is a dangerous opponent. You could tell he was very engaged listening to his coach, Mark Ferrer. He needs to stay disciplined in this fight, but he does believe sooner or later, Magic Man, the knockout will come.
Oh, you know what? Tom, when you work out all your wins by knockout, you do probably tend to have that feeling. I wouldn't know.
Hey, me neither. Me neither, partner.
Well, both you guys have more career knockouts than I do, so I really wouldn't know.
But if the knockout is going to come, I wouldn't be surprised if it's from the right hand. Soares has landed 3, 4 of them really good, clean, hard shots thus far, right on the side of the jaw of Arellano in this round alone. There's another one.
Right on cue, well called, Chris.
And Chan, let me tell you something. If he doesn't start getting out of the way of that right hand, I could actually see it starting to eventually hurt him. I mean, especially from a guy like Soares, who's already known with to have big power. Those right hands are only too clean.
Yeah, and I saw in Arellano's face, and right in the beginning of the round, he got hit with the right hand, and he was shook by it. So the power is there.
And the more it lands for Soares, the more confident he's going to be in throwing it.
Oh, you can see the confidence growing in Soares. The way he's moving, the way he's letting those hands go.
No knockouts for me, guys, but I have been cross-checked in the face, and it ended up getting my dentist a new car. But that's a different sport.
Good right hand from Arellano. Catches Soares pulling back. And there's a nice jab as well.
Arellano realizes the spotlight that is on him right now, and a big opponent in Maximus, and what can be gained if he can walk away with his arm raised.
Stop. Watch your head, okay? But
Round 2 complete.
Estás tocando con el jab que no tiene que estar tocando center. Respira. Este está tocando con el jab y tú no estás. Tienes que estar despierto. Está muy para arriba. Las piernas y todo. Estaba con el jab, trabaja atrás del jab. Y después tienes que mover la cabeza y trabaja. Tú estás saliendo sin pensar. Tú estás saliendo si todo está bien. Tú tienes que salir con buen.
Some of those right hands we talked about by Soares, there's a nice sharp one. He actually tried to come back with yet another one. He missed those, but ended that first one. And there's a different angle, good right hand there.
Yeah, it seems like Soares has done a good job of putting that last fight in the rear view. He's going forward now, letting those right hands fly.
And then, you know, Arellano allowed him to sort of get comfortable in there. You know, Arellano sort of came out a little bit tentative himself, and he did say in the yesterday's fight, I mean, he is a counterpuncher, but you know, he can also make things rough on you on the inside if he gets himself going.
Soares has really worked diligently at going back to the basics. They always say be brilliant at the basics. Wants to get back, be able to adapt to different fighters at different times. be patient, and then showcase that power that he has shown to opponents 14 times and 14 wins.
The fundamentals work at every level, you know, so getting them set early is really important. And it looks like Soares is a fundamentally sound guy. He's got good hand position, good movement, good head movement, let those hands go.
And Paulie, we talk about it all the time. When you're a future star here at ProBox TV, you live the life, plain and simple.
Yeah, he lives here. You don't have to worry about other things except your boxing career, your boxing technique, and your boxing training. Another sharp right hand there by Soares.
Big change in just the body language between these two from round number one. Soares controlling the center of the ring, controlling the real estate in there, really being a ring general coming here in the third round.
And Arellano did say, when talking about this opponent standing in front of him, he's got good foot movement, good head movement, but he feels his team did their job. They're prepared to go deep and adjust. Let's see if he adjusts, because Paulie, as Chris pointed out, looks like Soares is adjusting very well.
Yeah, and it seems like Arellano can't really find the range for anything else besides his jab. Some of those jabs are landing down and all those other things, but punching. Nice shots there, good exchange, good combination there by Soares.
That right hand is landing clean and flush. Soares definitely found a home for the right. And Arellano has made an adjustment. He's moving more to his right. He's moving away from that power hand. But Soares keeps finding a home for it.
Yeah, and Soares has to stop lingering in that mid-range while not being busy, because it's the perfect range for Soares to throw that right hand. And he's also too high up, which is something Mark Ferrer noticed in the corner as well, and told Soares, listen, he's high up. Use that jab. Use those straight shots. See there, he took another jab a few seconds ago. He's kind of just walking casually at mid-range. Nice right hand there.
Good 1-2 from Arellano.
But he's going to have to follow it up.
Missed with the right hand there.
Arellano's getting hit on the way in and the way out.
Yeah, and that's because he's not disguising the entrance at this point. He's getting a little bit frustrated. I would start using some feints if I'm Arellano, just trying to break that rhythm up, because Soares is starting to find the trajectory a lot more often and feeling very, very comfortable letting go of combinations, which is one of the keys to victory for him, right, Chin?
Yeah, exactly. Got some bullet from the nose of Soares. Ooh, another overhand right.
Starting to see the man who has scored 14 wins by knockout as this fight continues. In the corner of Arellano.
You gotta stop following me. Okay? Now you gotta bring your head to the pocket, dog. You gotta slip your head to the and you're gonna start sliding over to your fucking right. You gotta move your head off the line. Hey, we gotta dog this motherfucker out this round. We can't get fucking behind our rounds. Fuck that.
When Soares gets going, he starts throwing punches and bunches, and he brings an uncomfortable pace. And you start seeing, as he gets his confidence going, he starts moving his hands, punching from close range, punching from outside, punching his way into range. But you see, Arellano not to be undone. He tries to give some responses as well, and he throws that 1-2 right down, splits the gloves of Soares.
Soares, 14-1 in the white and gold trunks. Black and gold for Jose Arellano, 10-0 with 6 knockouts. Round 4. This one's scheduled for 8. The forum and the showcase for boxers that we have created, the platform here at ProBox TV, Chris, which you said you've been a fan of before joining us on the broadcast team tonight, allows opportunities for guys like Arellano. And the fighter meetings you pointed out, he had a couple big gaps between fights in his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's a gym rat, like he had said in the fighter meetings, but he hasn't been that active, hasn't had that many fights. He's only had 10 fights, but he saw this as a huge opportunity and a fight that he could win, and he was very happy to have the opportunity. Almost
2 years off. Some of it was COVID related. One fight between September of 18 and August of 20. Then his next one wasn't until about a year and 9 months later. But he is right here, right now, looking to shine against Jonhatan Soares, who's picked up the pace.
Yeah, Arellano's having a real tough time right now. He's getting hit with right hands over and over on the way in and the way out.
Yeah, and they've told him in the corner, get your head off center, and that's really the biggest problem he's had, is not getting his head off center. So these right hands have hit him pretty consistently. Now Soares starting to go to the body very well, along with the consistent head shots.
Good shots, and it did.
Liver side, right hands to the other side.
Well, the self-described counter-punchers punching back now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Arellano's going to have to bring in that inner Mexican-style warrior inside him, because Soares, at his best, this is his reputation, at his best, he's putting punches in bunches and brings a very uncomfortable pace.
If you're a Mexican fighter and you want to put pressure on yourself, you carry the same nickname as Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, you better show up if you're going to have Juan Manuel Marquez nickname being Dynamite. And right now it is Soares who looks dynamic.
Arellano trying to fight his way back here. It's going to have to be consistent.
But he's taking heavy shots as he's trying to get his game plan working as well. I do like what his corner was saying. You got to get your head offline, and we got to dog him out this round. Meaning they got to go forward, they got to make it rough, they got to let the hands go. But he's taking a lot of leather on the way in.
And that's the thing. Once you got Soares confident now, you know, he likes that kind of fight. He likes that active fight. That's one of the reasons. I can remember when I first got to ProBox TV, nice right hand by Soares. It was one of the things that Gary Jonas, the president of the company, really liked about Soares. Was that this guy really brings a fast pace.
We got a fight breaking down.
Yeah, we do. Good right hand there by Soares.
Arellano is here to fight.
Headbutt. What a clean head right at the belt.
All right, let's look back at the keys to victory. Paulie, you go with Soares.
Yeah, you know, Soares combination punches at mid-range. We've seen plenty of that. He's gotten himself going after a slow start in the first round. It's been all combinations. Get confidence early. Maybe he didn't get it right away, but he's certainly confident now. And then tie up if things get too rough. He's not doing any tying up. He likes to make it rough on Arellano right now.
And Chris Algieri, how about the blue corner, Jose Arellano?
But you need to be first like you were at that jab and that one.
Arellano needs to be aggressive early. He didn't do that. He allowed Soares to get into the fight, get comfortable. Round 2 started, and we saw a whole different guy. Next, move your head. That's what his corner's been pleading for. Get your head offline. He has not been doing that either, getting hit on the way in and the way out. Also, make it rough on the inside. He started to do a little bit of that in the fourth round, excuse me, but he took a lot of leather in the process.
Our keys to victory as this 8-rounder continues.
That's the thing. It's a lot easier to make it rough in the first round because now Soares is confident and he likes this pace. Try to make it rough on a guy who likes the fast pace now. It's much more difficult.
Soares looks like he's getting bigger every round. He's just growing in confidence and power.
Well, that rearview mirror, that memory from Panama City is getting further and further away as this fight continues.
Yeah, I mean, the story. Oh, good left hook from Arellano. Corrects Soares.
Your third key, Chris, is what we are starting to see, as you pointed out, at the end of last round. Now we're early in 5 for Arellano.
Yeah, I mean, the second half of this fight could be very interesting. Good shot there again for Arellano.
Yeah, nice little sharp 1-2 by Arellano. He's got to try to pick up the momentum off this early success he's having in this round. Oh, right hand. Nice sharp shot.
Watch your head.
Chris, we are past the midway point. How does your unofficial scorecard look?
I have it 39-37 for the Brazilian Soares. I just gave the first round to Arellano because Soares didn't do much, but other than that, it's been all Soares since then.
Magic Man?
Yeah, same for me. You know, Arellano was the only one doing any bit of work, slight bit in round 1.
Big right hand again from Soares.
Some swelling on the left eye of Jose Arellano. Soares really mixing things up nicely.
And Arellano trying to dog him out as well. I mean, this is starting to become a bit of a trench warfare fight. Nice body shot by Soares and a follow right.
Soares, very, very, very tough shots.
We've got ourselves a fight.
You can see on the inside the effort even Arellano's bringing, but it's just Soares also brings effort, but he's better. You can just see his combinations are a bit more tidy, and they're just sharper and more accurate.
I think sharper is the word that really defines the style of Soares. Very, very sharp puncher, good fundamentals, good technique, mixes up his punches well.
Chris, I was gonna say that to both you guys. Upstairs, downstairs, body, head, body. He has really mixed it up, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been building since round number 1, really nicely.
Arellano not undaunted though, man. It's not like he's backing himself up to the ropes. Arellano's doing his best to try to hold him in the ring and landing hooks like that in the process because he refuses to give in.
I mean, former 2-division world champion, silver medalist in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro, Shakur Stevenson, one of the sparring partners of Jose Arellano, ironically, against the man tonight, Soares from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I tell you, Soares got some nice body shots.
They're sneaky. Very sneaky shots.
They're smooth.
Big swing and a miss.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about both guys giving effort now. But it's Soares. You can tell he's the better fighter.
Yeah, bigger puncher, sharper puncher, better fighter.
More creative combination punching too. He finds the spots. Arellano giving good effort. Listen, I mean, this is a nice fight to watch, but you can just see the quality of Soares is starting to, the cream is rising to the top, so to speak.
It was stupid crap. After. Repita. Be lazy. Be alive. Alright? Repita. Be alive. Está muy parado. Okay? Está muy parado. Este chamaco no está en su nivel. Tú tienes que oír las instrucciones, tienes que trabajar atrás del jab. Estas piernas no están ready para nada, ni para defensa ni para ofensivo. Tú tienes que sentar la base en los puños. Dame derecha y gancho, pero trabaja atrás del jab. Tú tienes que trabajar aquí. Trabaja aquí y bajando. Come on, Jonathan. Let's go, man. All right, champ?
This is officially the longest fight in the professional career of Jonathan Soares. His previous lengthy wait for a finish was a 5th rounder in Sao Paulo back in 2018, 49 seconds in. So here in round 6, Soares has gone deeper than we have seen him go in his professional career. Mike Goldberg with the world champions, the 2-time world champion, Paulie Malignaggi, world champion, Chris Algieri, part of our ProBox TV family. Great to have you here tonight. We will be with you every other Wednesday.
Keep an eye out for that right hand from Soares, because Jose Arellano is starting to move again to his left, and that left hand's getting a little low and lazy, so that right hand. Oh!
There you go, Soares.
Oh!
Soares does eat some left hooks, man. I tell you, he comes in a bit high.
That was a good shot. 2 left hooks in a row.
For those of you watching on YouTube, hope you're enjoying the early action. Commercial free is available at ProBoxTV.com or download the app. Apple TV, Google TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku for just $1.99 a month. And it's not just fights, it's all kinds of great content.
And if you like the free stuff, if pain is not for you, it's all right. We got it with commercials too.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I like me some free.
And you don't mind the commercial, it's all good. I'm sure a lot of fans are watching us tonight with some...
Sensing a little shift here. I don't know if Soares is taking a round off or starting to tire, but not as much output this round.
Chris, I did mention, as you know, that this is the deepest he has gone in a fight as a professional.
Yeah, and he's got a 10-0 fighter in front of him. This guy doesn't know how to lose yet. Right. Oh!
Big shot. And again, nice right hand from Soares.
Arellano has some beard on him, man. Those are big shots.
Snuck a little body shot in. Soares leaping into that right hand.
Yeah, these guys are not shy about getting after each other. That's for sure.
50-50 fights, right, Magic Man?
Yeah, and they haven't used much of the ring either. No. 50 fights. Stylistically, we give you something you want to watch, man. These guys are going at it.
This is a small ring, and they've still only used the center.
No, I don't even come close to the ropes. And the ref hasn't had to do a lot of work breaking them up either, really.
I forgot there was even a ref in there. I haven't seen the guy do anything at all.
Final 10 seconds of round number 6. Another right hand over the top. I like how he delivers that from different angles.
Yeah, he's been mixing up the punches quite well, but he's always gone back to the bread and butter of the right hand.
That was better. Sometimes Soares has a bad habit of coming in a little bit high on his way in. He stays up because he's tall, he's up high, and then he walks into some hooks there on his way in. He's got to be careful and disguise the entrance a little bit better, especially when he's up high, because he's an action fighter. He likes to throw those punches and doesn't shy away from the exchange. There's some good right hands, and then he follows his own combination with a left hook. And there's the short shots we're talking about with Soares, who's got just a better technique on the inside to win those exchanges when both guys are going at it.
But it seems like every exchange, every combination or shot that Soares lands, Arellano comes right back. He comes right back, even mid-punch.
Well, Chan, we saw yesterday in the fighter meeting, we knew this guy was going to come determined. There was something about his personality yesterday that told us, this guy, he wants to go places in his life. He wants to go places in his career. And, he's hungry. He's not scared to work hard for it or put himself in danger for the sake of it.
He took this fight on 3 weeks' notice. Yep. We haven't talked much about that during the fight, but, that's a very real fact that he believes in himself and the opportunity.
And man, every time that phone rings, he was hoping it was somebody offering him a fight the last 2 years.
He's always in the gym, like he said.
True professional, and we like that here in ProBox TV.
9 of his previous 10 pro fights in Colorado. Moved to Denver, as I mentioned earlier, at age 9. And when we asked him about the short notice, he was quick in the fighter meetings to wave it off, if you will, and say, don't worry about it. I'm here, I'm ready. I need to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, we mentioned he trains and lives at altitude, so he was going to be in shape. And he said, that doesn't matter, I'm in shape anyway.
Yeah. He didn't want to hear it. He said, I'm in shape. That's what I walk around at.
So now anyone who goes and plays the Denver Broncos doesn't have an excuse anymore.
Nice catch and shoot combination by Arellano on the counter.
Yeah, but then he steps in, closes the distance, and then doesn't fire. He needs to capitalize and build when he does land those shots, like this.
Yeah, he doesn't follow up. But anytime he does that success, that's been a pretty big difference there. Soares lands and he follows up the combination. It doesn't happen if it happens even at all.
There's a delay. It's one and done, and then there's just too much of a gap. Allow Soares to get right back in.
Again to the body. Not a lot happened in round 1. Soares really took over in 2 and 3. Late in the 4th, Arellano started to showcase some of his skills. Now we're 1 minute, less than 1 minute remaining in round 7. Fight scheduled for 8.
I've been impressed with Soares' body work. I hadn't seen a whole lot of that in previous fights, but anyone who's a puncher and has a high knockout percentage is always a good body puncher.
Yeah.
Arellano trying to take away the space for those body shots while trying to do his own.
Great economy of motion as well with Soares. Not a lot of wasted energy when he lands those punches.
But you want to see the jab just a little busier at this range. You see, it's him not being as busy with just a jab, but looking for these right hands, which are sharp, by the way. It also causes Arellano to be able to close that gap and throw his shots like that.
Big shot. That body shot hurt him.
Like you said, Chan, he's the one following it up. He lands, he's closing that gap right away. Arellano lands, and there's that little bit of a gap.
Paul, you mentioned the jab. You had a fantastic jab, and you always said you were able to control the pace when you're able to jab. I believe that's something that Soares can go back to work on. If they had a jab, I think they'd be able to control those little spurts from Medina, make this a much easier fight.
And ironically, it's been Mark Fred who's been asking for that jab.
And also, those things you just talked about, and all subjects boxing will take place on ProBox TV in 2023. That beautiful set.
Oh yeah,
we just looked at.
That beautiful talk show studio.
That is it. Top show formatted, ready to bring you everything boxing. Tennis channel, golf channel, ProBox TV, your boxing channel.
We went from couches
Immediately.
Sports Center style.
You gotta fucking let it go.
Discussing boxing and only boxing. We dedicate everything to the sport. Your boxing channel, guys.
I'm still trying to get one of those recliners shipped home to Arizona, though, Paulie. Those are comfortable.
We're not gonna use it here. Let's send them home.
There you go. 8th and final round. Jonhatan, Soares, Cardoso, Maximus, 14 and 1. Jose Arellano, 10-0. His undefeated record is in jeopardy. Does he need a stop here in this round, Paulie?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Listen, he's fought a respectable fight, but at this point, I would say he needs a stoppage.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the fight, but I haven't given him a round since the first round. He's been making it competitive, but it's been one-sided. Ooh, good shots on the inside there.
Oh, headbutt there.
Oh, big right hand from Soares.
And the biggest key for Soares to use his jab more consistently is because you got a guy who doesn't go away from you. If you don't use your jab, you're going to wind up in a really high-contact fight. And although it's fun to watch, your career doesn't last long if you're in a lot of these high-contact fights.
I mean, with all the reasons we spoke why Soares has been successful tonight, he could have made this a much easier fight. He doesn't need to be in these rough exchanges with a bloody nose and getting hit with shots like that if he had a jab to control the action.
And it seems like he uses his jab mostly just as a way to close the gap, if he uses it at all, because he loves to use that lead right hand as well.
Well, coming off being finished 8-round distance for the first time.
And still ripping shots in the 8th and final round, so that's a good thing to see, too.
Right hands. He throws the right hand like it's his jab.
And Mark Ferre tells us all the time he doesn't mind these young fighters going rounds because it gives them a lot more to work on and break down.
I tell you, Arellano got nothing to be ashamed of tonight either with his effort. You know,
No, not at all.
Up on the short end, but dude, this guy, he's not going to be easy on any of your prospects if he decides to make him fight a prospect like that. Like Soares is having a night tonight where he's got to work for this win.
You know, especially if he has a full camp. This is on 3 weeks. What happens when he's got 8?
Great point. Great point, Chris.
Oof, good right hand there by Arellano.
The biggest story will be how he and knocked out back in June of last year, and I'd say he's done very well. Composed, but still aggressive.
Yeah, I really like what I see from Soares. Definitely some things to work on, but, you know, he's getting the 8 rounds in. He's got a very tough guy in front of him, someone who won't go away. Good step-up fight.
10 seconds. They're going to fight to the final bell.
ProBox TV, guys.
Woo! Great show put on by both men. They go the distance.
It's what you guys get all year round. ProBox TV. We got 2 live shows a month.
Right on cue, Paul.
And if you watched any of our events last year, you know already. Every B-side is live. It's hard to tell who the A and B side is.
Get you right for the camera, man.
We've had plenty of upsets already in the first year. And this fight tonight, yeah, okay, Soares is the A side. But was he made to work for it or what?
We feature, as you know from watching last year, Chris, a lot of A and the other A side in our matchups here on ProBox TV.
Yeah, we don't have a red or a blue corner. We got 2 purple corners.
I like that. I like that. And with the artist formerly known as Cardoso, Purple and Prince is just a perfect segue, Paulie.
Yeah, speaking, I was talking about how a lot of B-sides won last year on ProBox TV. Well, he was a victim of that last year as the B-side in his fight, and they're knocking him out.
Into the round. They made sure to put on a show.
Oh, yeah, they wanted to close the show in style, and here we see right at the bell. Neither guy wants to give ground. Both guys were throwing their hands, letting them go. You see Soares had the shorter shot, so gets the better of the exchange. That was sort of the big difference. Even when they both were not scared to let their hands go at close range on the inside, it was the better technique of Soares that won him those exchanges and those combinations.
And something else we didn't really talk about was the difference in power. Soares' punches just looked heavier.
The official decision is in. We will get it to Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds, we go to the scorecards. James O'Connor, Shami Shipman, and Braden Jackson all score the bout. 78-74 for your winner by unanimous decision, Jonhatan Maximus Soares.
He goes the distance for the first time in his professional career, but a big bounce-back victory for Sao Paulo, Brazil's Maximus. We pick up the action in round 2 because that is probably when the action kind of started to happen.
Yeah, we talked about a slow start, but that was it. That was about as slow as it got. Starting from round 2, the action was hot and heavy, and fists were flying. Soares with the better combination punching, but, you know, and of course going up and down with really good shots, right, Champ, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, he mixed up his punches really well. He built on what he started in round number 2. It started off with the right hands, but then he started going down to the body. That made a big difference. It varied up the levels of where his punches were coming from, and Arellano had real trouble figuring out where the shots were going to be.
And we know when you land the body shots, it also opens up more of the head shots because now the guy can't really anticipate as well, and he's also looking to protect his body. Of course, Arellano wasn't going to be undaunted himself, taking some shots. He took the right hands all night. Got to give him credit for the chin. But Arellano himself landed his share of shots, and you see some of that action there as well. He was undaunted and kept trying to win the fight the entire night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the second half of the fight was definitely different. Arellano was actually landing shots, was trying to win, was getting there at times, and I think he actually hurt Soares a few times in there, but the firepower was just too much for Soares. He really wanted to get back in this fight, and I think he did that.
Good fighters and great fights. Your boxing channel. We keep living up to that moniker. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was fun to watch.
So ProBox TV free if you are watching on our YouTube channel. $1.99 a month for ad-free content. ProBoxTV.com or the ProBox app is available on Apple TV, Google TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku. All of our coverage available in both English and Spanish. The studio news desk format coverage of boxing. No one does what we are going to do this year. It is what this sport of boxing needs and deserves, and a well-earned victory is exactly what Jonhatan Soares needed to get by the disappointment in Panama City. We are back in 2 weeks. Like I said, we are all about Wednesdays. And this one brought to you by one of our founders, Juan Manuel Marquez Promotions, February 8th from Mexico City, Gonzalez and Rivera in our main event of the evening right here on ProBox TV. Every 2 weeks, and look at those two handsome guys. I mean, so if they do a graphic with you, Chris, you're gonna have to pose with Claudia, and you're gonna lose. I'm sorry.
We didn't let Chris in because we wouldn't want him to stand up me and Juan Manuel. Make us look bad, dude.
Well, listen, this week seeing what Marquez wears all the time, I got to step up my clothing game. This guy is like fashionista.
Oh, he is indeed. He is indeed. So there you see our schedule forthcoming, and again, welcome aboard, Chris. It is great to have you, and a good start to our night, and a really important mental move, if you will, Paulie, for Cardoso now Soares, because he no longer has to worry about what happened. He can say, hey, I take it back. He's always got to remember what happened, but now he's mentally got by.
Well, you know what it is? You can see him gain the confidence as the fight went on. You know, started a little slow. You can see he was a bit apprehensive and things got going, but once he got his hands on, once the fight got going, he wasn't even minding getting hit. Something he's got to work on. He is a little bit too easy to hit, in my opinion, especially for a guy with the frame he has. He could be on the outside a little bit more, but nonetheless, you can see the confidence. He didn't mind it anymore. He loved to throw the combinations. He was willing to give one and take one, and he gave many more than one, even if he had to take one.
Your first career loss was to Miguel Cotto. Turned out to be a decent fighter. Yours was to a guy named Manny, I think.
Manny
Pacquiao. Yeah, okay. Well, Huertas is still, you know what I'm saying. I'm complimenting both of you
Different
guys.
level, yeah.
Obviously, I'm giving you guys much deserved love. And you talk about a young guy. We have Oscar Alvarez Jr., and he is a highlighted future star that Juan Manuel Marquez truly believes is something very special. He's got a tough opponent in Nicolas Polanco in front of him, but Alvarez, 6'3", freakishly, I'm going to say it for you again, Chris, freakishly long, thin, young for a lightweight.
Yeah, 6'3", 130 pounds. You don't see much of that.
Very comfortable at 130. This one will be at 135. He's 19 years old, Paulie. He has already showcased some incredible skills, and now he's got an incredible place to continue to develop.
Oh yeah, you know, you want to be seen, right? You want to. Nobody starts boxing just to do it in the small rooms. They want to do it in the big rooms. And you get it all over the world. All people from all over the place can see you. He's got a lot of experience. He wants to showcase what he can. He wants to show everybody what he can do. And I'm trying to tell you, it's far from a showcase fight tonight. This is a real test for him.
Because of his size, he has drawn quick comparisons to 6'5.5" southpaw Sebastian Fundora. Do you agree with those comparisons, Chris?
I mean, it's hard not to. You got a guy who is that tall, that long. He's got 100% knockout percentage. 7 fights, 7 victories, 7 KOs. You know, the comparisons to Fundora are definitely going to be there. Another fighter that he compares to that my partner Polanco brought up was Diego Corrales, another very tall 130-pounder who had power. Another guy who has the reach but still likes to fight in the inside. Alvarez Jr. is that kind of guy as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, sometimes you think it's counterproductive. Why would you fight on the inside when you're tall? And dude, you've got guys like Fundora, guys like Diego Corrales that show you could do that, and it was fun to watch them, and they were effective championship level fighters. And honestly, the prospect on Alvarez is also that he's expected to go just as far.
Nicolas Polanco, let's talk about him for a moment. He is 14 years older, way more experienced, and Chris, he's only lost to world-level fighters.
Yeah, no, this is a huge step up for Alvarez Jr. Alvarez Jr. He's a hard guy to find tape on. I wasn't able to really see anything, but if he beats a guy like Nicolas Polanco, he's the real deal.
And Polanco, a man who fought Javier Fortuna, and he said it made me more exposed. He was very hard hitting, of course, but he went the distance. He was able to avoid the damage in the end, was beaten in that fight, but still was able to showcase some skills. Let's look at the keys to victory. First, Paulie, you take Nicolas Polanco.
Polanco, he's a veteran, so he's got to be savvy. He's got to use all those veteran tricks that you sort of start to develop through the years that you're a professional boxer. Be physical. Listen, he's got his man strength. He's older. He's got, he's developed into his man body. He's got to get close in order to be physical, but if he can get close, and as we talked about before, Alvarez sometimes likes to get close, he's got to be a bit more physical because of that strength, and of course use that physical strength like we said.
He is Nicolas Polanco. Extremely fast, hits super hard. His defense still evolving. Watch out, he has been caught with some looping punches, but at 6'3", he's got that length, but Chris, he's Mexican. And his heroes are Juan Manuel Marquez and Julio Cesar Chavez, so he likes that Mexican style of boxing.
Yeah, 2 guys who are not afraid to mix it up, and Alvarez said that himself. Even though I can box on the outside, even though I should box at the outside sometimes, I like to bang in the inside.
The keys for the 19-year-old looking to remain unbeaten.
Use the extreme height and reach. You have God-given talent. Use it. You don't have to always fight on the inside. Use that to hit your man on the way in and the way out. Also, back his man up. Polanco does not fight well going backwards. He can use that height and reach to back his man up, put on pressure. And then lastly, you mentioned those Mexican greats. They are always great body punchers, and Alvarez says that he is as well. He needs to break down the older, more experienced man.
Started at age 4 under the tutelage of his father, Oscar Alvarez Sr. Our tail of the tape for this 8-round lightweight matchup. The 19-year-old Oscar Alvarez Jr. Look at that, 6'3". His opponent is 5'6". Now, the reach advantage not as dramatic as one would think, but Oscar Alvarez is certainly the much longer fighter. With the official introductions, once again, Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the ProBox TV Event Center in Plant City, Florida, we are scheduled for 8 rounds in the super featherweight division. Your judges for this bout: Michael Ross, James Jed O'Connor, and Shami Shipman. Your referee in charge is Michael DeJesus. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks. He weighed in at 131.6 pounds with a record of 20 wins, 3 losses, 11 wins by knockout from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Please welcome Nicolas La Pantera Polanco. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black with green. He weighed in at 132.2 pounds. A perfect professional record. 7 wins, no losses, all 7 wins by way of knockout. From Ciudad Obregón, Mexico, he is El Hijo de Sonora, Oscar Alvarez Jr.
Ya le dimos los rules en el locker room y en el rincón, ya saben todo. Toca guantes si quieren, si no, irte para atrás.
Oscar Alvarez Jr., Nicolas Polanco. Here we go. It's time to fight. Alvarez Jr. in the green and black trunks. Polanco in the white trunks.
Thank you.
Oscar Alvarez Jr. was peaking and looking towards an Olympic appearance, derailed by COVID at the end of 2021. He was showing his dad his mindset has changed, and he was ready to turn professional, and so far so good. 7-0, 7 knockouts.
You can see Polanco has pressure on his mind, trying to really intimidate the younger guy, trying to throw things with mean intentions.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time. He's going directly in the front door, getting his head offline, punching up, and punching up he will all night long because that height and reach is real.
Yeah, they don't allow ladder in there, champ, so he's going to punch himself up the whole way. That's good combination, good exchange.
Aye. These guys are not wasting any time.
Nicolas Polanco has never been stopped. His 3 losses have all come against world level or former world championship fighters.
Great body shot there from Alvarez Jr.
Yeah, you know, when you get hit with a good body shot, sometimes it reminds you to go to the body. You see Polanco went right back to the body.
Right back to it. Yeah, that body shot definitely slowed down Polanco. That forward pressure, not quite as heavy as it was.
You gotta think about it now.
Now you see, hands down, deep breath. Then he digs to the body. Like you said, Paulie, you hit me, I'll hit you back.
And they're not coming in with that power jab like he was there. He's trying to, it's not as powerful anymore. Not as enthusiastic. He was really pushing hard behind it.
Hey, good body shot will change your mind.
Polanco said he will benefit with his speed and power and eventually break down the 19-year-old. Good start to this one.
Yeah, good body shot to change your whole night sometimes.
Could end your whole night.
Yeah. Polanco told us his game plan is always the same. Control the fight from the beginning and dominate my opponent until the end.
And you can see right away, Alvarez Jr., in terms of his stance, he gives up his height and his reach immediately. Bends over, gets heavier on that front foot, and wants to throw heavy shots with both hands.
This kid is 18, 19 years old. I mean, you imagine what he could fill out to?
Oh, yeah.
Nice uppercut there. I've seen it a couple of times now. He's got a little sneaky uppercut. And it could really work against those shorter fighters, which, of course, when you fight Alvarez, everybody's shorter.
Yeah. Pick their head up, come back with that left hook. He does that nicely. Lets both hands go.
Both men came ready to fight. Good round 1.
I think that's a key, right? The overhand right for Polanco could be key. Tried it there with some mean intention.
Okay.
Alvarez, trained by his father.
Tienes que ser más preciso a la hora del ataque. A la hora del ataque tienes que ser más preciso. Aquí. Te metiste en algo que no era, Oscar, no era el plan así, no. Trabajo así de la distancia. Ya y derecho y te mueves hacia atrás y vuelves a tirar. Va largo los rampas. No te equivoques con eso. Ya se está yendo. Él se está yendo, está echando para atrás. Mira cómo está esa esquina. Con calma, papi. Quiero que le metas un puño bien dado. ¿Me entiendes? Acomódate los pies, mueve cabeza y darle uno bien dado. ¿Está bien?
Tranquilo, respira hondo. Hondo. No, mira, mueve la cabeza, llavea de arriba y tráete la arriba, pues, tírame los ganchos, está bien. Con calma, respira hondo, con calma.
So they want that head movement on the part of Polanco on his way in. While on the side of Alvarez, telling him be more precise, more precise with your shots.
Paulie speaks like 9 languages, as you know, Chris.
Yeah. I can follow along a little bit, but I watched this guy do hard boxing technique in English, both English and Spanish back to back. Extremely impressive.
Tell you what, those little body shots that get in there, man. Alvarez starting to sneak them in between Polanco, and it's going to make Polanco not want to be as wide with his shots, and it could get him doubting to throw that overhand right, which I think could be effective if he's able to land it.
I got a feeling we're not going to see the final bell of this fight. Both these guys are throwing big shots.
11 of the 20 wins for Polanco have come by knockout. He just put together a nice combination that left in the face of young Alvarez Jr. Most recent loss for Polanco was against 21-0 Albert Bell, a world-class fighter and number 4 contender. Was a 10-round unanimous decision that went against Polanco, but no shame in that one. And then you talked about the fight in Panama, Chris, where he lost to 17-2 Jaime Arboleda. 5 knockdowns credited with only 2. Ended up being a majority decision, but a tough one going against Nicolas Polanco.
Yeah, no, I reviewed that fight. I found it very difficult to give it to his opponent, even by a close majority decision. I mean, really, it could have been stopped in the second round. And you mentioned Albert Bell. Albert Bell's 6 feet tall. So this is another tall fighter that Polanco has experience with.
His other loss to Javier Fortuna back in September of 2017. No shame in that.
No, he's only lost to world-class opposition.
And that's what I was just going to say, champ. If you're going to beat Polanco, you got to be quality. So, really, Alvarez is not taking on a guy who's 20-3, but has, a built-up record. Right. The guys that have beaten Polanco were quality guys, and only quality guys have beaten Polanco.
Well, Rainman Cesar Francis is still to come, and he plain out said, if you want easy fights, don't fight on ProBox TV. Yeah. Plain and simple.
Because even the quality guys that beat Polanco, as Chris was saying, good combination, good exchange. Chris was saying, Arboleda robbed him, right?
Yeah.
Polanco won that fight, they robbed him.
Yeah, Polanco's the kind of guy, you got to beat him. And Alvarez is here. He's trying. He's throwing big bombs. He's looking real sharp in the second round. I like what I'm seeing from him.
And Polanco has been here, guys, at the ProBox headquarters training for the last 6 weeks. He said, I'm here to show ProBox what I am and represent my home country, the Dominican Republic. Now Alvarez utilizing his length a little bit more. To the body nicely.
Big dig to the body there with the right hand.
But such a young guy, Alvarez is not panicky on the inside. Even when he gets hit, he's very, very comfortable. You can see the experience on Alvarez, and all that amateur experience does add up. Oh, another good hook. I tell you, got to be careful with these hooks. Polanco's landed quite a few of them.
Good combination of belt.
Am I blocking you? Respira hondo. Respira hondo. Respira hondo. Sopla nariz. Papi, con calma. No me estás usando los pies. Con calmita. Está bien, está muy bien, papi. Solamente no quiere que. Mira, me estás cogiendo golpes. Cuando estás cogiendo golpes, te estás quedando ahí. Mueve los pies, papi. ¿Me entiendes? Con calma, tranquilo. Respira hondo. Los primeros 30 segundos. Respira, úsalo y después éntrale, ¿está bien? Respira hondo.
See some of those action from that round by Alvarez. Good exchange there, 2 ways.
Yeah, Polanco's been doing a good job of catching Alvarez Jr. when he gets a little bit tall, which for him, he's always tall, but even while he's throwing combinations, he's getting a little taller. Need to be careful.
Round 3 scheduled for 8. Alvarez Jr., green and black. Polanco in the white trunks. Polanco has been in the U.S. for a little over a year. Said he's adapting to the American way of life. Misses home, which is not surprising.
Southpaw now, look at this.
Oof. Big shots there from Polanco.
And Polanco continues to be aggressive.
I like what Polanco's doing. He's making it rough.
Yeah.
He's putting pressure on the taller, younger man.
That's the way he's got to make it. You got to make it uncomfortable for this young guy.
To the body. In the fighter meetings, he said he has the ability to knock him out in the 4th or 5th round. Now, that's what he said. We'll see if we get there and what happens when we do, if we do. But Polanco's certainly a tough task for the young 19-year-old Alvarez Jr., Paulie.
Yeah, and he's doing everything with mean intentions. He's here, he means business. He came to win. You can tell with his body language and the way he's throwing his punches.
Opened his career 17-0.
Good counter shots there by Alvarez.
Not a whole lot of jabbing from the 6'3", 130-pounder in Alvarez. He's going right to the hooks and straight right hands and uppercuts. Where's the jab? Where's the jab?
At this range, she should be showing it.
And God gave you that length. And I know it's in your blood. I know it's in your DNA to go inside and be nasty. But utilize it if you have it, right, Chris? Nice combo.
Absolutely. I mean, George Foreman said it. You want to be a good fighter, work on your right hand. You want to be a great fighter, work on your jab.
And you stick the jab in the face of Polanco a couple times, you may make him think a little bit more about coming in with aggression.
A couple of good left hooks landed this round by Alvarez. Best shots of the round.
Good connection again.
Polanco is landing shots, especially that left hook. He's slipping on the inside and sneaking in a nice left hook shot that's going around the guard of Alvarez.
To the body.
Heavy body shots on that right side.
Both fighters digging here in the last minute of this round, looking to do damage to the rib cage.
Oh, good shots from both guys. Oh.
Hey, when it gets exchanges, man, that's all I can say. Oh, too. You start to see those shots flying.
Eye-catching shots from both guys.
And Polanco gave the young Alvarez Jr. a little stare down at the bell.
Tranquilo, papi. Respira hondo. Respira hondo. Tú la más fuerte. ¿Estás bien? Al frente, frente. Respira hondo. Come on. Good. Tommy, tú no tienes ya, papi. Si tú coges y respira hondo, bien duro. Oh, espérame. Ese chamaco está en los talones. Cuando tú vienes para frente, cuando tú vienes...
Nice jab there, and it turned into a hook there by Polanco. And a good right hand there by Polanco as well.
Yeah, that was a better round for Polanco. He landed some big shots. He pressed the action. Didn't get hit with too many big shots like he had in the previous rounds.
Our co-main event of the evening continues here on ProBox TV. Round 4. This one's scheduled for 8. Our first Wednesday of 2023 Future Star Series. Every other Wednesday. Follow the journey of these fighters. Will they crash and burn? Will they become champions? Up-and-coming fighters in competitive, evenly matched fights available in English and in Spanish. In Spanish with Alan Obrador and, of course, Claudia Trejos and the Hall of Famer, one of our founders, Juan Manuel Marquez.
Good overhand lead right hand from Polanco lands over the left hand of Alvarez Jr. And there's the jab and a follow-up.
And Alvarez has to be careful going straight back. He's done that quite a bit. There are times when instead of going back, you hold your ground and you bump your opponent off. And I know he doesn't have as much physical man strength, but going straight back like that just adds to the momentum of Polanco, like right here, and you can't get anything going.
Paulie, just look at the body language right now. Polanco feels very confident, coming with his hands down, throwing big shots, trying to build up the success he had in the earlier round.
I'll be honest, in his corner, they think they're winning. Like the way they're talking, the way they think they're winning the fight. Now, some of the rounds have been close here, but they've all been competitive.
It's definitely a close fight, no matter which way you're looking at it.
Tonight, the second fight in the U.S. for young Oscar Alvarez Jr. His other 5 fights at home in Mexico. on the ProBox TV platform, he will fight both here at our headquarters and have a chance to fight it in his home country of Mexico. Maybe even hit Sonora somewhere in 2023.
Polanco's been a southpaw for about a minute, man. He's just staying in this. And now, just as I say that, he heard me.
Steps third, yeah. He's definitely a savvy vet. You know, he's got triple the amount of professional fights as Alvarez Jr. and you know he's showing different wrinkles.
115 rounds for Polanco, 19 coming into tonight for Alvarez.
Here's the jab from Alvarez Jr.
And if he use it a little bit more, this fight will be so much easier for him.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable how little of the jab he's used.
It would be easier for me too because I know how to score it. Because right now these rounds are tight.
Yeah.
Oh, good body shot.
But you see again, the way he gets out, he's always given that ground. There's sometimes, and he's not able to punch back when he's going like that, when he's going all out and going straight back.
Alvarez Jr. with a long right hand that just missed.
But he set that up with the jab. He has not been jabbing all night. That time he did. He actually backed his man up.
I'm not sure Alvarez has the defense to keep this pace this slow to where, good shots there, to where.
Good finish to this round as these two continue to put on a show. You talked about the defense is something that is still evolving for Oscar Alvarez Jr. Paulie, let's look back at our keys to victory, first of all, for the 19-year-old.
Yeah, height and reach, not so much. You know, he's been on the outside, but whenever Polanco has wanted to close the gap, he hasn't had much trouble doing it. You know, there's been some distance at times because he's walking around, but otherwise, when Polanco wants to close the gap, he's not really had any challenge to do it. Back his man up, he's actually been the one backing up, which doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing if he was using his jab, but he's not using his jab, so it's been tough. He has done to the body well, though. That's one thing he has done, even surprisingly well, considering he hasn't been the aggressor.
And for Polanco,
be the savvy vet. We've certainly seen that. I said that last round. He's switching sides. He's throwing different punches from different angles. Be physical. He's done that at times too. He's been physical, pushing forward, backing his man up, like Paulie said, and the overhand right. We've seen more of the left hook actually, but the corner has been asking for the overhand right from Polanco. Let's see if he can make that happen in these last couple rounds.
Mike Goldberg, two-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion Chris Algieri. Great to be here, our first Wednesday night of the new year here on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. Round 5, scheduled for 8. Alvarez went to round 6 in his most recent victory, that the longest fight of his young professional career.
I like those slip and shoots that Polanco has been starting each round with. He's been catching Alvarez.
Polanco's gone the distance in his last 4 fights. The 2 most recent were 10-rounders.
I'll tell you one thing, man, though, you know, for a guy with this many amateur fights, so it's claimed. Alvarez,
667 is the claim, right?
Hasn't thrown one feint. I mean, for to be on the outside, you'd be less predictable on the outside because he sets off some good shots on the outside, and at times he lands them. But at times, when he's throwing them, he's also getting hit. Why? Because he's predictable to when he's throwing. Good exchange here. Good combinations, both sides.
I will say about Alvarez, he has no qualms about trading on the inside. He likes throwing big bombs and being in the heat.
But that's the thing, you're going to wind up in an exchange every time, but it's not surprising. If you're mixing your feints on the outside and then, you know, shoot your combinations in between them, you know, you can surprise your man and freeze him to throw the combination. Instead, it's never headbutt there. Instead, there's never a surprise when Alvarez is throwing. So Polanco's able to throw with him every single time.
And like they say, Paulie, the shot you don't see is the one that hurts you the most. And if there's no surprise, you know, Polanco's going to be able to take these shots all night.
And Polanco, Chris, you pointed out that short left uppercut, that's his trickiest punch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's definitely tricky. He's a savvy vet, like we've been saying. I mean, he does have 23 fights, and he's been in with some top-quality guys.
I know this is a difficult one for both you, Magic Man, as our main event still to come. Cesar Francis, Jesus Saracho, with a regional belt on the line. Paulie's scorecard halfway through.
I got a 2-2.
Yeah, I got a 2-2 as well, or I could also see 3-1 for Alvarez.
Alvarez to the body again, Chris. But a tough one indeed, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alvarez finally starting to back up Polanco a little bit, though, this round.
Yeah.
Maybe body shots are taking some toll. We'll see.
You know, Paul, like you said at the top of the show, that youthful exuberance that these young guys are showing, and we're seeing that in Alvarez Jr. You know, he's just got more energy.
Yeah, and those body shots are backing Polanco up clearly. This round, it could be a little momentum swing, because they've all been competitive, but this round has been, once Polanco gets backed up, can Polanco fight backing up? Alvarez has been mildly successful backing up, but Polanco has been not successful at all backing up.
Yeah, that's been the keys to victory. When I watched the tape, that was one thing I noticed about Polanco. He does not fight well off the back foot.
Oh, hard body shot, wow.
Big round for Oscar Alvarez Jr.
Yeah, he's got Polanco in trouble.
I want to see if there's a tranquilo in the Polanco corner now. There's been tranquilo every single round.
Tranquilo, tranquilo, relájate, relájate. Respira hondo. Hondo. Respira hondo. Dale, ponlo ahí, papi. Ey, cálmate, papi. Cálmate, respira hondo. 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 Respira hondo. Necesito que respire hondo para que puedas... Eso, otro más. Hondo, más. Todo eso oxígeno tiene que ponerlo para atrás, papi. Respira hondo. Papi, está cogiendo golpe de más. No puede estar... Ya ves.
And the firefight at the end of this round, exchanging like crazy, but this time it was all Alvarez. Most of the time we've had some heavy exchanges, but this time you can see Alvarez starting to get the dominant part. That was a hard body shot there, and he followed up with some good headshots. Credit Polanco, he still tried, but certainly got backed up a lot more.
Yeah, definitely getting outworked and was wilting to those body shots.
Let's see if Alvarez takes advantage of the momentum.
Alvarez Jr. back to round 6 for the second straight fight. As I mentioned, Nicolas Polanco, 23-1. He has never been stopped.
Nice short chopping right hand there from Alvarez, catches Polanco on the way in.
Yeah, the momentum is a bit different here, as Polanco now not chasing the fight. He's more backing up, trying to box, trying to bide his time. But again, on the outside, I don't know how much success he's going to be able to have. Polanco's had his best success coming forward. I think he's shown some trepidation in wanting to come forward now that Vasquez had so much success in the last round.
Body shots will do that to you. They'll change your perspective and how you choose to fight. And
Alvarez, so
Polanco hasn't barely thrown a punch this round.
Alvarez, I meant so, not Vasquez.
Coming off the really strong finish to last round, Alvarez trying to keep that momentum going. I mentioned the first loss of the professional career for Polanco was to Javier Fortuna. They're actually very good friends now. They were on the national team together in the Dominican, both in the police academy and the police department together. In fact, Polanco was a police officer from age 16 to 19 back home in the DR.
Besides being a police officer, I'll tell you what else he is. He's hurt to the body again. He hasn't thrown a punch in about 30 seconds. Finally let go of a jab. He's getting backed up, and he is very, very defensive here.
I don't know about you, Paulie, but if I'm Alvarez Jr., I am solely focusing on the body. I am just banging with both hands every chance I get, and we're seeing that here, too.
Showing a little southpaw himself, stepping through a moment ago.
Yeah, body shots have made a tremendous difference.
Good short left hook on the inside from Alvarez.
And that's the thing, they'll open up the shots to the head, and also Polanco's shots will get a little bit wider out of fatigue, and you'll be able to beat him to the punch.
8-1 coming in that time, though.
Yeah, there's been a massive momentum shift.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, big right hand, that hurt him.
Alvarez is never going to mind taking one to come in. He wasn't minding before. Now, especially when the momentum is with him, he's really not going to mind.
Yeah, I don't love watching young fighters who are used to taking shots like this, but I mean, it is entertaining to watch. Alvarez Jr. is making a fight out of it.
I have the feeling that he has taken more shots in this fight here tonight, Chris, than in previous fights in his young career.
Which would make sense. This is a huge step up in class.
Yep.
Tienes que combinar bajar los cuerpos abajo y va a bajar los brazos, ¿me entiendes? Agua en la cabeza, agua en la cabeza, ¿no? Tienes que combinarle el cuerpo al cuerpo, busca un ganchito, anda muerto él, pero no lo sigue. Ok, pero tienes que tirar engañoso los golpes, jalar y luego rematar y tirar. A tu distancia, no te metas tanto porque quedas muy pegado. ¿Estamos? Más agua.
You see what they're saying? They're basically saying to deke him up top, you know, make him get comfortable up top, and then surprise him to the body. Use some decoys to set up those body shots that they're even more effective.
Deke is a good hockey word. Thank you, Paul.
That's where I got it from. You see some of that action there. Right hand up top. Combinations. You see when you're tired, it's harder to bend your legs, and when you stay up straight on the ropes, you get hit with right hands like the one Alvarez landed on Polanco a few seconds ago on that replay.
Yeah, that 6th round was all Alvarez Jr.
And Chris, in that last round too, we saw Oscar Alvarez literally walk down Polanco, switch his stance momentarily to land the hook.
Yeah, I mean, he did 2 out of the 3 keys to victory that we had. Back your man up and hit the body. He did both very well.
Round 7, longest fight of Alvarez's professional career.
Oh, big right hand over the top.
And that's the thing. 2 things are going to happen with those body shots. Number 1, Polanco's going to be more straight up because when you're tired, it's hard to bend your legs. Number 2, even when Polanco's landing, it's not as much power on them anymore because he's tired. And Alvarez continues to dig those body shots just like the corner wanted.
Yeah, the steam has been taken out of Polanco in the second half of the fight, and a lot of that is because of the good bodywork investment from Alvarez starting in round number 1.
Yeah, and it's easy to do it now because Polanco's not even active anymore, so you can literally just hit his body like a punching bag.
Yeah, his reactions have slowed, his power's gone down. He's starting to complain.
Even if he's not cut, he might want to take advantage of the break. He's got to the clash of heads. Oh, Alvarez the one that's cut.
Ooh, that's a bad spot over the eye. Oh, yeah. Soft, fleshy spot right above the eye.
Yeah.
There's always the danger of the blood dripping into the eye, blinding you. If you can't see, you can't fight.
And also, he's young. You know, this cut is only going to get worse at such a young age, where you know, then it's going to be a problem later on. I wouldn't mind him stopping him right now.
Take him there until he comes here.
I'm sure he's winning the scorecards at this point.
I was going to say, we're deep enough that we would get ourselves a decision.
Yeah, I have him on 58-56. If I score this round, I would score it obviously for Alvarez, so I would have him up to 68.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That is a very nasty cut in a horrendous place. And much to your point, Chris, can literally leave you blinded to one side. Neither man wanted it to end like this, but what a show they put on up to this point.
Yeah.
That replay where it came from.
Very entertaining fight. Heavy leather both sides.
Can't be surprised, Chris.
Yeah.
See that replay, Chip.
Boom, there we go. Actually, I mean, it looked like Polanco got the worst end of the head placement on that, but it turns out the cut is from...
You know what it was? Alvarez's face kind of kept scraping up. Look.
Here we can see a different angle, see if we can get a better view on that. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it looked like, it's funny, the taller man was coming from underneath.
Yeah, but you know what it is? He scraped his head up.
Yeah.
And he worked his way
It's
up.
the shearing force that caused that cut on that soft spot above the eye.
And the doctor just shared with me, guys, that the placement of where that cut is can mess with the nerve and thus the eyesight, and it was bleeding profusely, and that is why a good stoppage by the doctors.
Yeah. That's why we have the doctor ringside.
Yeah, and Paulie said it. He's a young guy. You know, that's only going to get worse if the fight goes on, and that's something he's got a whole career ahead of him, and eyesight for the rest of his life.
That's right.
I was impressed, though. I'll tell you, after the slow start, I was wondering if maybe he was in over his head too early in his career, but I'll tell you, he got going, and man, did he get going.
But you alluded to how calm he was right away, even when the shots were coming at him, and that's 100% right. He was calm the entire time and started to really build off of what he was doing.
Poker face like a 27-year-old veteran. I mean, very impressive.
So we go to the cards, which also includes the round that ended, unfortunately, with the cut for Alvarez, and here is Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Denise Griffin rules this bout cannot continue due to a cut caused by an accidental headbutt. We go to the scorecards. Judge Michael Ross and Shami Shipman both score the bout 68-65. James Jed O'Connor sees it 70-63 for your winner by unanimous decision, El Hijo de Sonora, Oscar Alvarez Jr.
Unanimous decision victory. The 19-year-old is 8-0.
Polanco looking like he thinks he got robbed. I wouldn't say he got robbed, but he also didn't lose every single round like one of the judges had.
No, I had it 68-65, like one of the judges had. 2 rounds to Polanco. Gave a good account of himself, but definitely lost the fight.
At a certain point in the fight, I thought maybe he was going to take the momentum and maybe start carrying it, but it was the key part was maybe round 4, was it, when just Alvarez started control the fight, he hurt him to the body, and from then on it was all Alvarez.
And Paulie, both you and Chris mentioned that you could see Polanco physically didn't have a whole left in the tank at that point. So let's break it down from the very start, and it was a good start indeed.
It was a good start for both guys, and you see Polanco came out with some mean intentions, throwing everything hard, everything with the intent to hurt his man and maybe make him feel like, hey, he shouldn't belong in the ring with him at such a young age. And there were many points early in the fight where Polanco had a lot of successes. Both guys exchanged freely. We were saying ooh and ah the whole time, and some of these big shots were just missing or both landing. But as the fight wore on, saw Alvarez start to land more and more body shots, and that started to be the key. The body shots started to make the head shots more effective, and as those became more frequent, Alvarez took control of this fight, and the last couple rounds especially were all Alvarez. Polanco was backed up to ropes a lot, and Polanco just not the same fighter when he's on the front foot. Clash of heads there forces the fight to go to the scorecards, and that's where it ended. Unanimous technical decision for Alvarez.
Oscar Alvarez Jr. victorious in his debut here on ProBox TV. Next up, our main event of the evening. 10-round super lightweight fight. Cesar Francis is back, and he is ready to rain down on tonight's opponent. His name is Jesus Saracho.
My name is Cesar the Rain Man Francis. I was born in San Miguelito, Panama, and I'm raised out of here in Brooklyn, New York. Panama was rough, tough, and my grandfather couldn't take it anymore. He moved his whole family out to New York, and here we are, living the American dream.
The major thing that a fighter should have, he has it, which is discipline. I don't have to be on top of him too much, but I stay on top of him so you can know that I'm always there, you know what I'm saying? So you don't forget why we got into this and where we going.
Listen, man, I come from a very, very tough Panamanian camp. My cousin is on me. Rest in peace, my uncle. He was always on me, and what we believe in is running.
Ding dong, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard. Ding dong, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard.
They call me the Rain Man because I just keep coming. Like, you can't stop the rain. You can't change the weather, can't you? You can, right? I know you can't. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. At the end of the day, the KO's gonna come. If it doesn't come, I'm cool with it. You know why? Because I'm getting the experience. So I don't care if my fights go long, my fights go short. At the end of the day, I am gonna put hands on you. If I knock you out, I knock you out. I might get knocked out of the year this year. Understand? With that beautiful uppercut. But look, it came, we put it together, and we got him out of there.
Ding dong, they just think they are.
We don't look for knockouts, but if the knockout comes, they don't pay us for overtime. So we don't go in this ring playing with nobody. We respect everyone that we fight, because everyone that jumps in the ring I respect, because at the end of the day, it takes a lot to go in that square circle. Not anybody does it, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta have respect for your opponent.
New York is a dope place to train and you know, and raise your family. Here in New York, you got to understand it's very, very legendary when it comes to boxing. A lot of legendary fighters came out of this city and this town alone, Brooklyn, New York. So I love it, man. I love my connections. I love my peoples, and we strong here.
When it comes to New York and the way that it helps mold the fighter, I feel as though it's a great place to train, especially with the grit that you have to have just in your everyday life. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, and that's just the ingredient that you can't find anywhere else on the planet.
We're happy where we at in our career today. We're undefeated, ranked number 8 in WBO, and we worked our ass to get here. Understand? Like we knocked on a lot of doors that was closed. They didn't want to open the door for us, but you know, me and my cousin got through it, and now we're here. Now they got to talk to us now. Understand?
No, for Cesar to become a world champion, he has to be true to himself. Continue doing what he's doing. Just enhance it. You know what I'm saying? Because the road's going to get a little harder and harder. Nothing is easy in life. But if you prepare yourself and you do the discipline, you do the work, and you do everything, the fruit of the labor will be there. You know what I'm saying?
The most important thing is connection. You gotta have a connection with your team, and I have a connection with mine, and I thank God for that. Me and my cousin got it out the mud, man. We got it out the mud. Like, we worked hard for this. So everything that you see is just all part of it. The rhythm, the dancing, the connection is all part of it. And listen, we can't just keep bringing it. We're gonna always bring the rhythm to the ring, man. That's all. Bring that Panamanian style. I'm not really too familiar with my opponent. I don't know who you are, where you're from, but you're gonna feel me. You're gonna understand where I come from, my pain. You know, how everyone ducked me. Nobody wanted to give me that chance. You're gonna feel my pain. That's what every single fight I'm gonna fight. You're gonna feel my pain. This is real pain that I'm going through here. And I'm gonna make sure everyone feels it. That's all. That's all.
He is a fun-loving but very dangerous boxer from your backyard in Brooklyn, Paulie. You know him very well. Back-to-back wins over world champions in Muhammad Mamoun and then Ray Beltran. I would say in the Mamoun fight, mentally, he grew up. In the Beltran fight, physically, he got some tricks in.
Oh, absolutely. You know, coming in from Brooklyn, you're going to get that experience in the gyms, you're sparring high-level fighters, you know, throughout all your years in boxing. I know that was the case for me. I actually have to remember sparring Cesar when he was younger as well. And then, of course, in his career, like he said, he hasn't had an easy route. You know, he's had it the hard way, and he's had to take on some tough opponents early on in his career. He doesn't have a ton of pro fights, but he's had to, you know, kick in some doors and take on some tough opponents and beat those tough opponents.
And you heard him say cousin, and obviously Chico, his trainer, Chico Guzman Jr., senior passed 2 weeks before the fight against Ray Beltran. And you want to talk about a beloved trainer and the uncle of Cesar Francis, but the bond has just gotten tighter, and they're fighting for dad upstairs, Chris. They're fighting for the bigger picture as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel that from both of them when they speak about their father and speak about Cesar's father. I've also sparred with Cesar, but I sparred a lot more recently, in the last couple of years, actually. I mean, when his father was working his corner, and back then I was like, this kid's good. How is he not signed by anybody? And that's the kind of fighters we see on ProBox TV, those people who slip between the cracks, and that's what Cesar Francis is, and he's having quite a run thus far.
Rain Man, Hitman, because he sure has a physique like Tommy Hearns.
Yeah, sure. I mean, mean, he's tall, he's long, he's got good power too. And you know, he showed great legs in the Beltran fight. He showed that he's not just a one-trick pony with power. He can move, he can box, he's got skills. You know, the kid is very ready for the next step.
The next step in front of him is 12-1, Jesus Saracho, Paulie. And again, hey, and Cesar said it, if you want easy fights, don't fight on ProBox TV.
Well, he's on ProBox TV, which means he doesn't have an easy fight. Saracho is a guy who can punch. He brings it to you, believes in his power. His whole team believes in his power. They believe they have that special one-punch anesthesiologist-style knockout power. And especially early in the fight, he's going to be dangerous. He's going to be bringing the fight right to Francis. He's going to be looking to back up Francis, make him uncomfortable. And, you know, we've seen Francis get hurt against southpaws. Saracho is a southpaw.
All right, Magic Man, take us through the keys to victory for Rain Man.
Francis, use that reach and busy jab. He's tall. Watch when Saracho gets in range. Very, very big power from Saracho. You got to be careful and watch out for the right hook. I would say he's got to watch out for both sides of the wide shots, because sometimes those wide left hands from the southpaw can also be tricky. Francis is very alert when the punches are coming up the middle, but sometimes when they come around the side, he kind of doesn't see them.
Chris Algieri, how about Jesus Saracho?
Very, very hungry guy. Really happy for this opportunity. Very dangerous puncher. Has 11 stoppages in his 12 wins. Paulie mentioned how confident they were in the fighter meeting. This guy believes in his power. He was like the quiet cool yesterday. Now, and for his keys to victory, he's got to jab the man to get on the inside. You can't just be on the outside and try to wade in. You're going to take too many shots. Once he gets inside, though, he has to let his hands go. He has to take every opportunity he can once he gets inside the reach of Francis to let those hands go. And finally, right hooks. Right hook, right hook, right hook. Cesar Francis has been hurt before by the right hook. He tends not to see that punch. It is a tricky one, and Saracho has a very, very good one.
And Saracho is a southpaw, and he also mentioned that it was the southpaw Mamoon that gave Francis some problems. Here's Mark Lichtenfeld.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your ProBox TV main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Latino Super Lightweight title. Your WBO supervisor, Michael Pernick. Your judges for this bout, Joe Ware, Michael Ross, and James Jed O'Connor. Your referee in charge is Christopher Young. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the burgundy with gold. He weighed in at 140 pounds even, with a record of 12 wins, just 1 loss, with 11 wins by knockout. From Guanajuato, Mexico, please welcome Jesus Saracho. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue trunks, he weighed in at 138.6 pounds. He is undefeated, 12 wins, no losses, 7 wins by knockout. The pride of San Miguelito, Panama. Now fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, the number 8 ranked super lightweight in the world by the WBO. He is Cesar Rainman Francis.
Listen, your trunk's kind of high, so I'm going to give him this area, all right? Okay. Listen, Jimmy, you know what time it is. The WBO title. Fight hard, fight clean, touch him up.
Set for our main event of the evening. Our tail of the tape for this 10-round fight. 32-year-old Francis, 21-year-old Saracho. 6-inch reach advantage for the Rain Man. Here we go. It's time to fight. The southpaw, Jesus Saracho in the burgundy and gold trunks, black and neon green for Cesar Francis.
Oh, good left hook over the top. Catches Saracho high on the head.
And you just see the back of Saracho. That's some deep cupping, getting that back loose for this big battle tonight. 12-1, as Chris talked about in between fights as we previewed our main event. 11 of those 12 wins for Saracho have come by knockout.
I like how Saracho has come out behind the jab. You know, he is the shorter man. I said that in the keys to victory. He needs to jab his way in the inside, and he's doing that here.
Paulie, we talked to him about that in the fighter meetings. He said, I've fought taller, longer, heavier guys before. He did say the body work will be the key. He's also coming off a 5th-round stoppage when a previously unbeaten Nick Jefferson, who was also very tall and fast.
That's what I'm saying. Saracho is now with the guy who's 12-1 but has a blown-up record. He's 12-1 and he's earned his 12-1. And like the champ Chris said earlier in the broadcast, that one loss, he was winning when he got stopped. So you know, he's certainly a live guy, a dangerous guy, and Francis, as usual, not in an easy fight.
I can see right away, Saracho looks very capable. I've watched his tape. I knew he was good, but right here he looks even better. He looks very composed, very sharp, using that jab, relaxed.
And when he was stopped in the 9th round of the fight back in March of last year against Deontay Brown, it was due to the fact that he had a broken orbital bone. And we talked to his team about it, and like Paulie said, he was ahead on the scorecards. But what matters right now for Saracho is Francis. What matters for Francis is Saracho.
Coming up just short. He's attempting, though. He's trying to get off. He's getting off more than Francis, but coming up short in his attempts. He's got to close the gap a little bit more, and Francis won't make that easy for him, as Francis very good control of range.
Yeah, he's got a nice long jab, and he has good legs as well. He can move around the ring quite well. And this isn't a big ring, but he's using every inch.
Cesar Francis weighed in at 138.6. He had trouble with his weight against Francisco Armenta. Chris, you've got a background in nutrition, and he said he just wasn't eating the right things, and he figured out those nutritional issues in long form or short form. What did he mean by that?
More than anything, it seemed like it was a discipline issue. He said he was eating the wrong things. He knew what the problem was. He corrected it, and he came in underweight for this. So I like to see that in a young fighter.
Main event of the evening.
Oh, good catch and shoot there by Francis with that uppercut, and that's a key weapon, especially if Saracho is going to bend down low as he's been on his way inside.
That's one of Cesar Francis's best and trickiest punches, is that right uppercut. And when you got a guy who has a formerly injured eye, that's a very good shot to land.
That right uppercut broke
what do you think?
Muhammad's jaw.
All right, so walk in with your hands up, but carefully. And touch. Don't open up on him. But when you walk into him, use that step in jab hard to cover yourself. All right? Sharp. Let me get some Vaseline.
Do not reach no more. Hay que estarle golpeando abajo y de repente cambia la arriba lo que hiciste ahorita. Pum, pum, pum. Y cuando entre, ese ganchito. Pero hay que agarrarlo. Hay que agarrarlo.
Si le entra, inteligente, si le entra.
Aquí hay que tirarle mucho. Aquí.
No es muy rápido.
Desde el principio hay que estarle chingando ahí, mijo, ¿eh? Vamos, mijo.
They're looking for that hook in that corner. Yep. They're looking for that hook, the left hand to the body and that right hook to the head. They're looking for that hook, and you can see he was looking for it. Saracho was looking for it in the first round, especially early. He was trying to throw with Francis as well. I would also, like to see some feints in the part of Francis. That way it makes him a little bit tougher to time, especially on it with his jab and straight shots.
Full 8-week camp for Jesus Saracho, 6 weeks in Mexico City, so at altitude, the final 2 weeks at Top Rank in Vegas. Said he worked with a lot of middleweights, guys, to take on this big frame of Cesar Francis.
Good straight right hand down the middle for Francis, backed Saracho up.
Francis starting to react very well with that uppercut.
He does a great job of keeping distance and pulling the trigger on that right uppercut at just the right time.
Yeah, and that's the thing, when you're able to use it on the counter move, it's a reactive punch.
Good overhand left there from Saracho.
A smart shot to throw there, because he sees Francis looking for the right uppercut, maybe trying to time and throw that left hand at the top. Maybe hope that Francis tries to throw the uppercut with him, and he can land the overhand left before Francis' uppercut gets there.
All gas, no brakes, pressure, and more pressure. The game plan for Saracho tonight.
And if you notice the body stance of Saracho, he's very heavy over that front foot, which is going to leave him susceptible to that right uppercut. Cesar Francis' best punch.
Yeah, it's a hooker type of stance when you're on that front foot. It means you're looking more for the hook, and that's what we've seen Saracho look for, though. A nice left hand there by Saracho.
Yeah, very focused, very capable. Definitely has a game plan. He's trying different ways to get in.
Francis, as was mentioned in the feature, ranked 8th in the WBO super lightweight division. Josh Taylor, the junior welterweight world champion, at 19-0.
Another good uppercut there landed by Francis. On southpaws, people always say the straight right hand lands well, but I always also liked that right uppercut with pressuring southpaws.
Good overhand right hand from Saracho there.
Saracho just 21 years old. 12-1, as Chris mentioned, with 11 of those 12 wins by knockout. Very high guard, very tight hands to the body.
Like you said, Paul, in the corner, they were really asking for that right hook. And you can see Saracho thinking through it, setting it up, throwing the left hands low, using that jab to get Francis to reach.
Yep.
Bang, there it is, boys.
He's looking for it there.
Oh. Aye, good uppercut there from Francis.
He felt that.
Oh, yeah. I think it was a body shot.
Francis with a strong finish to this round.
He got hurt bad.
Saved by the belt.
Great job by the ref jumping in.
He ain't better than you. He's not better than you. You hear me? I'm straight through all for this. Let him know he's in our house.
What? That's the family business in that corner.
Yeah, they yell at each other.
Yeah. Holiday dinner.
That happens in certain parts of Brooklyn, doesn't it, Paulie?
Yeah, we got Brooklyn and Tampa tonight.
We got Brooklyn, Long Island.
Well, keep it right there. He's trying to do something. Finish the left foot. Landa.
Yes.
Hang. Bring it up. Let's go. Up.
Some little shots here. Let's see. That was a good uppercut right on the
chin.
I think he's already hurt at this point, though.
Yeah, I think he was already hurt at this point. That one didn't help. Didn't help either.
Get to it.
He was out of answers. He kind of didn't know what he was going to be, or maybe what it was in the ring.
He almost turned his back. Yeah, that's why I thought it was the body language looked almost like it was a body shot that hurt him, because he bent over. He tried to escape.
Very fortunate the bell rang there for Saracho.
Saracho was actually having a good round.
That's how fast things change in boxing.
One punch can make you a star or it can ruin your life.
One punch finished Francisco Armenta real quickly for the knockout of the year on ProBox TV.
We'll talk about one punch here now, but let's see if Saracho can continue with the confidence he was showing in the fight thus far. To that point, before getting hurt, we see sometimes guys are confident, but then once they get hurt in the fight, their body language changes, their approach changes. You see right now he's still holding his ground well.
Similar to Polanco in the last fight versus Alvarez. Once he got hurt, it changed his whole approach.
Good point.
Two things have separated Cesar Francis on most nights from his opponents: his movement and the proper utilization of the jab, which sets up that big right uppercut, especially against the southpaw.
Yeah, he's shown improved explosiveness over the years, with those highlight reel knockouts and this right uppercut, which is a new weapon that he's utilizing on everybody.
Mamoon, we knew coming in, was a warrior, but to go the distance with a jaw that was broken in the first round. Big statement by former world champion Muhammad Mamoon, and a big win mentally for Francis. And then to get through all those tricks of Ray Beltran, Cesar talked about that a lot too, Paulie, how he was able to adapt to the tricks of a veteran who had won world championships as well.
Oh yeah, sometimes the old world champions, they may be older, they may not be as good, but certainly all their tricks and savvy veteran skills will teach us some things in there.
And Ray made a living with some of those, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
In the gym and in the ring. I mean, he was sparring with the likes of Pacquiao for multiple years. punch there for the southpaw, that straight left hand that splits the guard to the solar plexus of the taller orthodox fighter.
And Beltran, one of those guys, much to your point, Chris, sparring partner of Manny Pacquiao, who was able to get out of that sparring partner mode and become a world champion himself.
Which is rare. Most guys, when they get in that mode, are never able to take it to that next gear, and Beltran did.
Francis would like a world championship here in 2023.
Man, Francis needs to be careful throwing that right uppercut from too far away. That's a very dangerous punch to miss.
Nice hook there by Saracho.
Yeah, to your point, Paulie, it does seem like Saracho has put that in the rear view and is back on his winning ways.
Por favor, no lo dejes crecer. Hay que tirarle más, hay que tirarle más. Que vea que llevas el mando tú. Que lleves, no lo dejes crecer, por favor. Y hay que asegurar los rounds. Hay que asegurar los rounds. ¿Ok? ¿Estás viendo? Sí, sí. Pero hay que tirarle más, hay que tirarle más. ¿Más frecuencia? Sí, más frecuencia de golpes, exactamente. Hay que tirarle abajo y luego arriba. Tiras aquí y aquí recto y remata. Pa, pa, pum. Luego abajo y luego arriba. Hay que estar alternando el golpe. ¿Ok? Hay que estar alternando el castigo, mijo.
Cuando le echas para atrás no trae nada, güey, de regreso este güey.
Sí, sí, nada más vivo, que no te vaya a contragolpear el güey, que no te vaya. Pero ya que métele un poquito más de fuerza, un poquito más ya. ¿Qué round va? ¿Qué round va? Cuarto, vamos, mijo, vamos, vamos.
Cesar Francis, 12-0. Jesus Saracho, 12-1. Main event of the evening, round 4 scheduled for 10. Black neon, green trunks for Francis, burgundy and gold for Saracho. Mike Goldberg, a powerful partner of the Magic Man, the two-time world champion Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion Chris Algieri. Great to be with you as we start what will be a game-changing year here at ProBox TV. We don't promote boxers, we promote the sport of boxing here on your boxing channel.
Francis getting more aggressive to start this round, coming forward, throwing shots, not fighting off the back foot like he has been the first 3.
He's got to use some of the throwaway punches, though, to set up the bigger shots. So you can't be impatient. Sometimes he's trying to lead with too many strong shots. He's got to set those shots up. Maybe use a couple of throwaway punches to put Saracho out of position and then throw the big shots.
Yeah, and your keys to victory, you said he's got to be busy with that left hand. And he hasn't been that busy. More just looking to keep space and counter.
And Chris Cesar can't get lazy with that left hand either with the right hand counter from Saracho. That jab's got to come back, pin right to the jaw, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. He's got to answer the phone with that hand, bring it right back up to the ear.
Yeah, you can't be in love with your power. I know he had a big knock on his last fight, but again, I see him throwing everything. He's throwing jabs here and there, but everything else, he's throwing it way too hard and not really setting up the trap as well. Saracho's a very capable guy. He's not just going to give you a free shot. You're going to have to set it up a little bit, especially after learning his lesson and getting hit with the uppercut for coming in too much on the front foot. He's not made that mistake since.
That's a great point, Paulie. You know, the power's not what got him here. It was his boxing ability. It was those decision wins against those step-up fights.
You got to be able to use the whole toolbox, especially as you go up the line. Nice body shot there by Francis.
Yeah, I like how Francis is able to move that dangerous counter uppercut to the head or to the body.
I mean, those back-to-back wins over the world champions here on ProBox TV both went the 10-round distance. Beltran and Mamoon at 140.
Francis up on his toes here, looking to react. And nice combination there.
Saracho rebounded very well. After being stopped and suffering the broken orbital bone, he scored back-to-back knockout wins in the 4th and 5th rounds of his last 2 fights. We are in round 4.
Francis getting up on those toes seems to be confusing Saracho. It's really blunted his forward movement.
Yeah, it's changing range a little bit, but
10 seconds, Jimmy.
Also not
10 seconds.
Not as effective himself, too. Again, I want to see some feints on the part of Francis. I really think he can feint Saracho out of position, especially that he hasn't shown any yet. If you start feinting and missing that rhythm, I think you can open up some more stuff from Saracho and also, you know, put him in a bad position to set up some
And you
powers.
second-guessing yourself. No, but you listen to me. Listen to me, brother. You're better than this. Get to him with a jab. Sit down there. Whatever you got to do, let him finish what you do. You come back. Yeah.
No 1-2, sharp 1-2, the right hand is
okay.
But you're not going to punch off you're not going to do nothing off the bounce while you bouncing.
Yo, of the bouncing, he don't see you. That's why I said move around. You said jab, but you gotta get close to him. Come on, and then go back. You only throwing 2 punches. Let's go, bro. You good? Let's finish him then. Let's go. You better than this. What round is this? 5.
One of our future stars, Najee Lopez. Suffered mid part of last year. We haven't seen him for a while. Hope to see him in February. He is definitely a young man who has unlimited potential, and superstardom is in range for Najee Lopez. Cesar Francis, Jesus Saracho, round 5.
Francis was getting a little admonishment in the corner from his trainer Chico, telling him to throw more punches, let his hands go, alluding to what Paulie was saying. You know, he was bouncing but not doing much off of it.
You're looking for the perfect shot, especially a lot of times as a boxer, when you're looking to set up something, if it's not there, sometimes you keep your hands at home. And that's why I keep saying if he feints, he'll open things up for himself. You know, if something's not there, if something's not comfortable, maybe start feinting, and maybe something will open up. You know, shoot off the feint. Sometimes just feint and don't shoot. See the kind of reaction Saracho gives you. Because right now, what he's doing, he's not opening anything up. And Saracho is also not leaning in as much as he was before. So that right uppercut, it's not really there as much anymore. And we've seen Francis try. It's not thrown by Saracho.
That was
crunch of the fight for Saracho.
That was exactly what the corner was asking for. They said down low with the jab, right hand over the top, and he set up that perfectly there.
And again, this is a southpaw in Saracho, who was straight out telling us in the fighter meetings that he saw Cesar Francis struggle with southpaw Muhammad Mahmoud.
Yeah, they were very confident in their ability to give Cesar Francis trouble based on that southpaw stance and what they've seen so far.
Absolutely.
Up until this point, I can't say that they were wrong. Saracho has a very good game plan and looks very comfortable. That was a good bait and switch there from Saracho. He thought he was going to come forward, but pulled out.
Landing again for Saracho.
Coming over with that left this time. Good combination by Jesus Saracho.
And Paulie, that's the punch that you said, and the key to victory. It's not just the right hook over the top. The overhand left is there as well, because Francis had trouble seeing them.
Yeah, I noticed that in the Moonfighter and other fights, Francis sees the shots coming out the middle well, but it's the shot from around the side that sometimes tend to surprise him.
Cesar Francis talks about his late uncle. And growing up in the old school of Brooklyn, that's made me the fighter I am today. His cousin, Chico Jr., telling him, let's get it done here. Let's get rid of this man. But I don't know if that's going to be quite a simple task. Certainly it hasn't been thus far.
He's got a hungry, young, and very capable 21-year-old in front of him.
That's one thing that has impressed me all week from Team Saracho is just how calm and cool he's been for a 21-year-old. Yeah. Mature way beyond his years.
I'll tell you what, he's starting to step on the front foot of Francis a lot, and Francis is not able to get away from those combinations. Good round for Saracho. Saracho talking about had more success there. A nice bait right hook, and then to set the trap, and then a nice straight left hand right up the middle. Landed very nicely. See it from a different angle again. Used the right hook to distract the eyes of Francis. Francis looking to counter with the uppercut. Counter the right hook with the uppercut. Never sees the left hand coming.
Magic Man, let's revisit your keys for Francis.
Jab hasn't been busy. He's trying to use his reach on the outside, trying to stay at range, but without a busy jab, staying at range is not really doing much well because Saracho's able to close the gap. Watch Saracho when he gets in range. Saracho's starting to get there more and more. And watch for that right hook we just saw last round. The left hand is also being very effective. He's just got to be careful in general. And the big punch in front of him.
Chris for Jesus Saracho.
Jab with the total man. He came out in the first round, was doing that immediately. I mentioned that. Once inside, let his hands go. He's still having trouble getting inside, but once he does, he has been throwing that right hook, so he has been listening.
Number 3, he nailed a couple of times in the last round, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Team Francis was ready for the right hook because in previous fights he was really throwing it. Yeah. But to Paulie's point, he used the right hook to land the overhand left last round. So good adjustment from Saracho.
Round 6 past the midway point of our main event of the evening for the vacant WBO Super Lightweight Latino title. Through 5 rounds, Chris Algieri, how do you have it scored?
I have it 48-47 for Saracho. That's 3 rounds to 2. I had him taking the lead. I had it even up after 4, and then he took that 5th round based on that overhand left.
Magic Man? I got a 3-2 Francis, but with Saracho coming on.
So we got ourselves a fight.
Oh, yeah. Yep. In true ProBox TV fashion, we do have ourselves a fight.
You got that right. Good fighters, great fights. ProBox TV, free if you're watching on YouTube. ProBoxTV.com is $1.99 a month, ad-free. Download the ProBox app, available on Apple TV, Google TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku.
See, right here is where you need to feint. You see this right here? They're all both looking at each other mid-range. Everybody's trying to create nothing there. Feint, foot drop feint, or arm feint. Something will open something up, or at least change the look of something. It's not there, and Saracho likes what he sees. He's getting off fronts more consistently.
There's that right again, Chris.
Yeah, that right hook over the top. He's finding a home for it, and that is his punch.
In addition to our great fights every other Wednesday, daily talk shows in English and Spanish, Big Fight Guide, best bets, top stories, recaps, spotlights, broken down by some of the biggest names in the sport, 2 of them sitting next to me. This is your boxing channel.
Francis should be throwing here. He's got Saracho standing in his range because he has a longer reach. This is his range. He can hit him, but he's allowing Saracho to close the distance.
You know, Saracho's very, very reactive, and I think he's worried about the reaction of Saracho, and that's why, again, I'm going to keep saying it again, you got to feint him. This way, it makes him react. He's frozen, and then you can get off without paying the price. If you don't make him, if you don't freeze him, Saracho will remain reactive. So when you throw, you know he's ready to throw back, and what happens? You become more hesitant, and that's what Francis is doing right now. He's hesitant because he knows Saracho is very reactive, and he's not doing anything to offset that.
Brilliant stuff there, champ. You're absolutely right.
Thanks, champ.
Oh, big shot. Big shot.
Oh, I got Frank's attention.
10 seconds. Saracho, undeterred when we spoke of the length of this Tommy Hearns-like physique possessed by Cesar Francis. Nick Jefferson, 6 foot tall, and he was able to finish him in round 5. Francis, not quite as tall, but very rangy.
Jefferson was also an undefeated fighter at the time.
Exactly.
Saracho handed him his first loss.
Yep.
We talk about Francis not having had an easy road. Saracho not exactly taking the easy road himself.
Yes, sir. I didn't see him in my blood spot. Yeah.
So get to him there. Blocking, touching, see. But sharp.
You talk about sometimes you fall in love with your power. We know Francis had a right hand knockout last time. You see, he keeps looking for this right uppercut. He had the right uppercut knockout. Paid the price for looking for it, even when it's not there. A lot of times, took a left hand in that sequence. A lot of times we see him starting to throw it from too far out of range, or just looking for it in general. Again, you gotta. That's the kind of punch that you gotta let it. You just gotta let it be there. You can't look for it. And if you're gonna look for it, you also gotta throw it to the body, not just to the head. Especially with a southpaw, it's there both to the gut and to the head.
I mean, it's a great punch. It's a beautiful counter, but it's a very dangerous punch when you miss or if you throw it from out of range. So there was the body. Nice.
I personally I love that uppercut, that right uppercut against southpaws, and even to the gut against aggressive southpaws. But you know, you gotta know when to use it and not to use it. And again, you gotta use other decoys. Otherwise, the guy's gonna know it's coming and he's gonna try to throw it.
If I'm not mistaken, that was one of your favorite punches that you threw quite a bit in your careers.
Hand there by Saracho. Yeah, when a southpaw was aggressive, I liked throwing it. When it wasn't non-aggressive southpaw, like when I fought Judah, you know, who was kind of boxing with me, it wasn't there as often. Oh, I don't know what you're fighting. Saracho's aggressive, but he's getting more and more confident.
Yeah, he's comfortable staying in the pocket and picking the shots off from Francis. But also, Francis just isn't as busy. There's not a whole lot coming his way. so he can hang out in mid-range.
Yeah, because he's hesitant of the reactiveness of Saracho. It's making him hesitant himself. A couple of good body shots this round though by Francis, but he's got to pick up the momentum off of those.
Saracho definitely showcasing his explosiveness, his athleticism, and he's got his own power. We are in round 7, midway point. Big swing and a miss.
Tell you guys, somebody's got to start bossing this fight. It looks like Saracho's trying to attempt to boss the fight.
Good body shot from Francis.
And that backed Saracho off because Saracho was aggressive. Now Saracho's kind of taking a break after that body shot. But again, it's Francis going to take advantage of it. Francis is going to start getting busy here. So it took away the aggression of Saracho. You can see Saracho backing off. He was aggressive on the front foot, and now since getting hit with that body shot, champ, he's backed off. But again, he's got other decoys. He's using other shots from the outside to keep Francis busy. Francis has to take advantage if he has a small advantage from landing that body shot.
Yeah, Saracho is crafty, but it seems like the guy who's been able to hurt their other man has been Francis thus far.
But a moment ago, Chris, we talked about answering the phone. Cesar got just a bit careless with that left, and he almost paid a price.
Yeah, and the hands are starting to come down a little bit. His accuracy's gone down a little bit with that right uppercut, starting to reach here and there. Saracho's trying to take advantage of that.
Final 30 seconds of round 7. Chris had Saracho up 3-2. Paulie Francis up 3-2. We know we've got ourselves a great main event. Plain and simple.
Yo, nobody gave us nothing here, boy. We got here on shore fucking work and pain, bro. Listen to me. On shore work and pain. You were better than him. You finished everything with left hook. Get to the man. He's hurting. Is he hurting you?
Yes, bro.
Walk him down now. Hey, don't throw nothing away. Don't throw split right here. Yo, don't throw.
Sí, ¿por qué estás desesperado y va a entrar solo? Él se va a entrar solo. Ya nomás te quiere. Va. Estás bien entero, mijo. Si puedes tirarle más madrazos, más. Ya no sabes ni por dónde.
Arturo control a little bit.
It's going to get good these last 2 rounds because both guys know it's on the line here. Both corners know it's on the line, and they are really starting to motivate their charge.
Cesar calls it doing it the Rain Man way. And in the feature, it was really pointed out some of the things he has had to overcome to be here today at 32 years old at 12-0. Closer to potential world title fights. But right now, he's got himself a serious competitor in Jesus Saracho. Round number 8.
And 10-round fight, I like to think of rounds 8, 9, and 10 as the championship rounds. So I think that's really what this fight is going to come down to. Who wants to be champion?
And there's that 3-punch combination they were looking for in the corner of Saracho. They want his punches to begin bunches when he gets close, and he just did it nicely there a few seconds ago.
I don't know what's more impressive, how spot on the corner is, or the fact that Saracho comes out every round and listens to exactly what his corner does and executes.
Yeah, good young fighter.
And going back to the amateurs for Francis, he battled basically almost starvation. He had very scarce ability to have food. He admitted it in a documentary, Cradle of Champions, that he couldn't afford a meal before a 2015 New York Golden Gloves bout. He's come a long way, and he's done it with hard work, heart, and determination.
Hard work, dedication, and talent. We got blood from the mouth now of Francis.
Saracho going for it right now.
Saracho certainly undeterred by the round in which he was rocked. That seems way in the distant past now, doesn't it, guys?
Yeah, he's gaining confidence.
A great champion once said to me, and that guy's standing right next to me, you got to have thick skin and a short memory to be good at boxing, and Saracho's showing that.
You got that right. Ooh. Saracho's throwing with very ill intention here. Again, 11 of his 12 wins have been by knockout.
good body shot by Francis.
Right in front of us, guys, you could hear it.
And a good catch and shoot counter there by Saracho as well, as he came back with his left hand to the head.
This is a dangerous place to be for Francis. He's got his back against the ropes at Saracho's closing distance.
It's Saracho with a body shot in a combination. Missed with the uppercut. Huge counters by Saracho.
Saracho's really pouring it on.
A big round here for Saracho.
Good right hand there from Francis. Put Saracho on his heels.
The difference here, Saracho follows up. We talked about last fight how Alvarez was following up better than
Polanco.
Same thing here. Francis doesn't follow up. Let me Saracho's still following up more and more punches and bunches.
He builds once he gets there. Exactly like we said in the keys. Like once you get on the inside, you gotta take advantage of it, and he has. Every chance he's gotten where he's gotten to that punching range, he's let his hands go.
Talk to me. See, what are you doing? He's hurting you. Talk to me. Talk to me. We good? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. All right. Yo, bro, you gotta give me these last 2 rounds. You gotta go fight with him. You can't be on the rope. You gotta attack him.
Big flurry from Saracho.
We saw in the corner they wanted punches and bunches from Saracho. Well, he came out and gave him just that in that round. Very big round for Saracho in round 8. Puts them together. You see the initial combination and the follow-up we talked about. He knows how to follow the combination, and he puts together another combination to follow that up.
But even with all that, at the end of the round, Francis landed a right hand on the chin that pushed Saracho back and had him thinking twice before coming in again. So Francis is still dangerous.
And it makes you realize that if Francis would realize that he can follow up his attack a little bit more, he could, take control of the momentum back.
Well, Chris, as you mentioned, if rounds 8, 9, and 10 are your championship rounds in a 10-rounder, that was pretty good round 8 for Jesus Saracho.
And I think it's going to heat up these last 2 rounds because both these men are feeling it. They know they're close, and they both want the win.
All right, through 8, how do you have it scored?
I have Saracho slightly ahead at this one. I had it even, but that last round was a big one.
How about you, Paulie?
I got a 4-3-1 for Saracho. One meaning the draw. I have 1 round of 10-10.
We had you, Magic Man.
So actually, I had it even going into the last round too.
Yeah. That was a separating round.
Years old. Jesus Saracho, 250 amateur fights in Mexico. Said he had about 15 setbacks.
And I will say, 21 years old, regardless of what ends up happening at the end of this fight, I would like to see Saracho again win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely.
Very capable guy. Both guys, and he hasn't really stepped on the gas this round, picking up to keep the momentum from the previous round. I mean, Francis still is having a hard time getting off, but this round is still up for grabs with 1:15 left.
Yeah, not a whole lot's been done.
Saracho with those 11 finishes, none have come past the 6th round, and we passed that point many minutes ago. 60 seconds on the clock here in round 9.
I like that body shot there from Francis. I've seen it a couple times tonight. It's been effective.
Yeah, and it also can open up some other things to the head if you use it.
Got that left hand up just in time.
Oh, good right hand over the top from Francis.
Yeah, this is Saracho was going for the body. You know what it is? He's able to learn something like that because he stopped looking for the uppercut. You know, so that opens him up to the possibility of other shots being thrown. And that's why he came over the top of that with the right hand. He stopped looking for that uppercut, and he's doing it again there.
Headed to the 10th and final round.
Saracho?
Nada, pues es pura defensa.
¿Cómo lo sientes? No, hay que asegurar, hay que asegurar. Hay que asegurar, no. No sabemos cómo están los jueces, mijo. Nada de que ya, no, hay que cerrar hasta tambor batiente, lo puedes hacer. No tiene nada el güey ya, mijo. Lo puedes hacer.
Vinimos a ganar, Vinimos a ganar,
Last round, touch him up.
Cease, this round you gotta be fast. Jabs gotta be fast. Come on, Cease. You gotta pick up this round. Let's go.
I'll tell you what, man. So I had Saracho with the possibility of clinching the fight on my card last Friday, and he did nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, mijo.
You know, this is basically a home fight for Francis, even though he's from Brooklyn. He's fought here before. You got to go and take the momentum a little bit better.
This is the 10th and final round.
After the big round that Saracho had in round 8, the fight's all up for grabs for me. I got a 4-4-1 going into round 10. All to go for here in round 10. Let's see how they fight.
Good right hand, right off the bat get from Francis.
Takes us right back to what Cesar Francis said, and I quote, "You want an easy fight? Don't fight on ProBox." 10th and final round of our main event. Francis hanging that left hand low again here as he did in round 9.
I like when he bounces and he fires off it. He wasn't doing that much earlier, but it's been effective.
Yeah, it keeps Saracho reaching there. You know, we just got to be careful not to get himself stuck on the ropes because Saracho gets his hands off in combination very well when Francis runs out of room. That's kind of right hand. He's caught Saracho. Oh, nice left hand by Saracho there. He's caught Saracho reaching a few times in the last couple of rounds.
It's because Saracho's been throwing one at a time. That's been the difference in his last couple of rounds. He's throwing one shot instead of combinations.
Francis. And that's the thing. Why has he been throwing one at a time? Because he hasn't been able to close the gap. When he gets in the gap, when he gets in range, Saracho puts him together nicely. But Francis, if he stays off the ropes and keeps it at center ring with that bounce, it's hard for Saracho to also close that gap.
And that's one of the things Francis and his cousin, his trainer, Chico Jr., said they've really worked on his movement. And you've seen it right here on ProBox TV continue to evolve.
He's looking very sharp right now, Cesar Francis. Almost like...
And he hadn't used that right uppercut in a couple of rounds. He finally went back to it. I think he had to remind Saracho because Saracho forgot about it because he hadn't seen it in a few rounds.
Yeah, he was going to the well too many times.
Put out that right hand to the head. You see that nice straight right hand to the head. A good headbutt doesn't hurt anybody. A nice headbutt by Francis there.
Good left hand from Saracho catches Francis pulling straight back.
You know, we said earlier that Soares had to put being knocked out in the rearview mirror so he could have success. I think Cesar had to put the big knockout in the rearview mirror and start to box, which he's done here, especially here in the final round.
That's a phenomenal point.
Clearly, Goldie, because when he was looking for a right uppercut early on, it was hurting him. You know, it was costing him in the middle rounds. Once he stopped looking for that right uppercut, this straight right hand has been very effective for him.
Yeah, now he's just boxing good fundamentals. He's throwing a 1-2.
And he's got Saracho desperate now. Saracho's desperately trying to close the gap, so he's the one walking into shots.
Final 10 seconds.
I tell you, if Saracho doesn't get this decision, he's going to kick himself for not fighting in round 9, man.
Yeah, 9 and 10. He gave it away.
I mean, 10 he made Francis earn, but 9 he really just slept walk through it and let Francis eke it out. This is a good fight. I'd love to see both guys again. You know, and it tends to be the case here at ProBox. Winners and losers are so entertaining. We'll see who wins the fight, man. I got it really close, but I got Francis up by 5-4-1.
I think either way we see both these guys again.
Yeah.
If not against each other, because this is going to be a very close decision.
Saracho gets cheers because Plain City has a very big Mexican population.
Yes, great
they
point.
love their Mexican fighters.
Great point.
I mean, we all love our Mexican fighters. Don't get me wrong. They're never in a bad fight, but this particular part of Florida actually has a big Mexican population.
Fierce. Very fierce.
Great fights here tonight, and as promised, Yes, we are Wednesday night fights, February 8th. Juan Manuel Marquez Promotions presents a night of boxing headlined by a main event that promises action. Super bantamweight Alejandro Gonzalez looks to rebuild off his potential fight of the year in November when he takes on hard-hitting Brian Rivera. Also, look forward to the following of the journey of Mexico's future stars as they look to take their early steps to title contention. Some will make it, some will not. We'll see you in 2 weeks, right back here, February 8th on ProBox TV. It's in the hands of the judges now. Will it go to Francis or will it go to Saracho? Judges have rendered their decision. Here is Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 well-fought rounds, we go to the scorecards. Joe Ware and Michael Ross both scored the bout 96-94. James Jed O'Connor sees it 98-92 for the winner by unanimous decision. And now the WBO Latino Super Lightweight Champion, Jesus Saracho.
Saracho, the victor.
I'll be honest, it could go either way at close range. You know, I had it 1-1 for Francis, but it could go either way. I don't have a problem with 96-94 though, but 8 rounds to 2, I don't think any of those two guys win the fight.
When that was said, I was like, I don't know who this could be, because no one was clearly. I had a 95-95 draw, and I had Francis pulling it out, pulling out the draw with the last 2 rounds. But wow, 98-92.
Oof. Claudia Trejos will visit with the victor.
Thank you, Goldie. I'm here with Jesus Saracho, who just took the win. You just took the win. How does it feel? Te acabas de llevar la victoria. ¿Qué se siente?
Me siento muy contento porque en marzo yo había perdido mi invicto, había perdido mi estatus como campeón en la división de los ligeros. Y yo después vuelvo a recuperar los rankings y hacerme del estatus como campeón.
It feels really good because I had already lost my undefeated, I had lost my title, and it feels really good because I'm back in the top of my career. What moment did you know that this fight was yours? ¿En qué momento supiste que esta pelea era tuya?
Pues desde el momento en que me empecé a preparar, yo sabía que Francis era un gran peleador, con un gran alcance, pero creo que el trabajo que hicimos en equipo de mi señor padre, Iván Saracho, el profesor Arturo Urusquieta, de mi manager Ray Fried, por darme todo el apoyo. Sacamos esta gran victoria y nos regresa a los rankings, a los primeros planos del ranking mundial.
I knew that this fight was mine from the minute that I started my workout in my training camp, and I have to thank my dad and the coach in my corner for all the support, and because of them, I'm back in the world rankings. In the second round, you were in trouble. What did your corner tell you to get back up? What motivated you to keep going? En el segundo asalto te estuviste en peligro. ¿Qué te motivó para volver otra vez a tomar las cosas a las riendas de la pelea?
No, pues yo sabía que contaba con una gran condición física. Creo que pues nosotros, todos los boxeadores, aunque traigamos una gran preparación, estamos atenidos a fallar en algún golpe. Francis me conectó, creo que fue un gancho de derecha en la zona, en el flexus, pero me supe recuperar. Creo que eso es lo que te da la experiencia de estar 16 años en este duro deporte.
We always have to count on conditioning, strength and conditioning. We're open to anything happening in the ring, but I knew that I had to come in because Francis is a very dangerous fighter. So thanks to their work, I am back. I could handle it, and I am back being at the top of the rankings. Felicitaciones, congratulations, great win, and may we have you back. Back to you guys.
Claudia, thank you very much. And Jesus Saracho definitely showed the resiliency, showed the heart of the great Mexican fighter. And he did weather that storm, Chris, and it seemed like he weathered it and got rid of it very quickly.
Yeah, no, he like I said it right from the get. I mean, he looked very, very capable. He was very confident. He was confident all week long. He was kind of like that quiet, confident guy walking around. He had an air about him that he belonged here and that he was going to come away with the victory, and that he did.
I made the point, and Chris was nice enough to say it was a phenomenal point. I appreciate that, Chris. Even if it wasn't, I appreciate you saying it. Paulie, Was there too much dependency on that big uppercut and not sticking with like the boxing game plan for Cesar early?
I think overall, Francis didn't look enough for other punches. You know, he looked a lot for that uppercut, almost like he fell in love with it after his knockout he scored last fight, and he wasn't creating other openings. He wasn't really looking for other openings for a big part of the fight. Later in the fight, he started coming with over the top with the right hands, over the top of the left hands that Saracho was going to the body. But I really thought he could have used a lot of feints to open things up. Listen, if it doesn't look right, I mean, I don't want to, I hate to always put myself in as an example, but if something didn't look right for me, if I couldn't make an opening, I would try to create one with feints or something else. You know, he was trying to create one with his legs. He was trying to bounce back and forth. If that's not working, give a couple of different looks. He wasn't changing the look. He wasn't giving the feints. And so he just kept his hands at home too much, and it allowed Saracho to get more busy. I thought late in the fight, he made a couple of adjustments. I thought he had Saracho kind of desperate in round 10, reaching and stuff. But ultimately, you know, the fight could have won either way on my card. I had Francis winning, but, you know, you put yourself in a situation to lose the fight when you're sitting there waiting or looking for one punch at a time, the way Francis was.
So the theme seems to be that knockout, either being knocked out or knocking out your opponent, you need to put it in the rearview mirror, and that is what Jonhatan Soares did a good job of earlier in the night. And Paulie, you could tell that he came out very disciplined, very patient, because he wanted to get through that first round, that first moment, and forget about Panama City.
Yeah, and then, you know, the champion Chris mentioned a quote that I had said to him about having a short memory. Short memory, it comes together with having it in boxing, both when you have a bad experience like Soares had at his last fight, not thinking about the knockout loss, but also when you have a good experience. You don't want to rest on your laurels and get too overconfident the way Fran do either way. So a short memory is very important in boxing because you need to always look ahead, look forward. You're only as good as your last win. This is a very cruel business, I'll tell you, and people forget what you did good very, very quickly if you do badly on the night.
We knew on paper, Chris, that 19-year-old Oscar Alvarez Jr. is a stud. We also knew when we broke down the matchup that he had a really tough opponent in front of him in Nicolas Polanco, and that's exactly how it went.
Yeah, absolutely. We learned two things about Alvarez Jr. Tonight. One, that he's good. He can really fight. Yep. But also, there are things he needs to work on. He's a little rough around the edges, which is why the fight ended in a technical draw. He was being too aggressive, wasn't using that jab, wasn't keeping the distance with that really long range and height that he has, and you end up getting headbutt, had a bad cut over the eye, and we went to a decision. He ultimately won the decision unanimously, did a very good work, especially in the second half of the fight, but there are some things that the team has to go back and work on, so those kind of things don't happen.
And the good thing is, he's young enough. He's 19 years old. You look to always improve at that age.
Good stop by the doctor, and hopefully that heals up well. But the one thing that remains consistent as we change things up and put it in high gear for 2023, Paulie, is good fighters, great fights. What a way to get things started.
Your boxing channel, guys. Once again tonight, we gave you guys 3 tough matchups. Again, there's no A and B side, as you can see.
Anything can happen on ProBox TV.
Anything can happen, and we don't get you winning records for guys with blown up records. They both come in with tough records, built up records against good fighters.
Powerful partner, Magic Man, great job. Chris Algieri, welcome to the family. Going to be a pleasure to continue to work together. What a night, what a way to get started here on ProBox TV. We don't promote boxers, we promote the sport of boxing. And we saw some great boxing here inside our world headquarters tonight. The artist formerly known as Jonhatan Cardoso. Jonhatan Soares, victorious. Alvarez got cut, but he got his arm raised. They'll stitch it up, and he will fight again. Then our main event of the evening goes the distance, and it goes to the new champion, Jesus Saracho. For the Magic Man and former champion Chris Algieri, Mike Goldberg saying so long. Until next time, we see you right back here on ProBox TV.